let's continue. This is The Adventures of the Runaway Room, Trial, Part 2, The Old Bailey. Let's see if I remember any of the accents I gave these people. Then that is when you must strike. Oh, let's get the context, because it's been a while. I, for one. Ooh, we did it. Okay. We changed some jurors' minds, so we need to change 2 more jurors. There's something else that's bothering me about a couple of their assertions. Then that is where you must strike next. So I need to pit 2 more jurors against each other and show there's another contradiction in their assertions. Exactly. You can do it.
Well, the scales of justice have shifted, but they still weigh heavily on the side of guilt. Counsel, you have the floor again. Continue with your summation examination.
I'm changing my leaning to innocent. I should like to hear what the slipshod bookkeeper has to say for himself. He stuck the chap next to him like this. Brazen, I must say. Absolutely brazen. I've simply typed and collated all the statements made thus far and drawn the logical conclusion. Okay. Debtor, this trial has to continue so I could get... Wrong. Scoundrel stabbing that poor... The scoundrel stabbing that poor man on the floor. It beggars belief. So was it on the floor? Or was it like that? Let's get that autopsy report. Clearly visible. Oh, not on the floor. Miss. Not on the floor. I was in the carriage at the time, so it has to have been him. Simply... right here.
Objection.
Yeah, y'all are... one of... those 2 statements are completely contradictory. What? Explain, counsel, post haste. Oh, dearie me. I was only knitting a jumper for my other half. What is all this claptrap? What does contradictory even mean, I ask you? We've heard from more than one witness that they allegedly saw the actual moment the defendant stabbed the victim. Now, out of curiosity, juror number 3. What, can't you see I'm busy here? I got my knife stuck in this table. How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim? What sort of motion was it? Ha, want to test me, do you? It was like this. Stuck the fellow next to him without even getting up, just like the prim banker said.
Yes, that was Mr. Fairplay's testimony. Quite true.
Now then, juror number 6. Oh, is that me, is it? What can I do for you, young man? How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim, madam? Oh, well, dear, as far as I understand it, it was like this. He stabbed the poor man after he'd collapsed on the floor. The coachman said so. Now don't move. Take a look at these 2 jurors. He stuck the fellow next to him without even getting up. And he stabbed the poor man after he collapsed on the floor.
Well, I never. They're stabbing in totally different directions.
What? Bless my stitches. What a muddle. What this tells us is that there's a strong possibility one of these witnesses isn't telling the truth. Oh. But why? Why the dickens would they lie? I don't know that yet. What I do know is that if the trial ends at this point, we may never find out. We may never know the real truth. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, can you really let that happen in all good conscience? Lies, you say? Oh, dearie me. I can't abide people telling lies. The scales. I don't believe it. I don't remember the accents at all. Sorry, guys. Hold it.
Wait. Now hear this, my fellow jurors. I warn you, you cannot listen to this man.
Look at him in his black suit. He's clearly witchcraft. Witch shit. Look at him. He's goth. If I could use magic, do you really think I'd be putting myself through all this? Answer me, goth boy. Huh? Me?
What exactly is the problem? What of it if two witnesses have slightly different recollections of events?
What of it?
Let's say the Shylock did stab the victim as we were sat next to him on the omnibus, and this young dandy saw him do it. And now let's say the victim collapsed on the floor, and then the Shylock stabbed him again, and this old lady saw him do it.
Well, what's to say it didn't happen like that, I think it's the autopsy report. Who are you calling a dandy, sir? Why I should take this knife to you? Who are you calling old? Why I should take this needle to you?
They're ready to kill each other now. But could the foreman of the jury be right? Did the two witnesses see two different moments of the same crime? Let's check the court record.
Got single stab wound? That sounds pretty incriminating to me. It's out of the question. Look at the fucking autopsy report.
Unfortunately, Mr. Foreman. What is it, goth boy? Come out with it. What you're suggesting is impossible. It's out of the question. Let me... Whoop. Whoop. I did a bad. What did I do? Uh-oh. 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 Did I break this? Advanced audio properties. Let me check some stuff. I might have done a bad. Excuse me, I think I did a bad. Output. Audio. Audio. Okay. Let's see, what did I do? Oh, it's still good. Oh, it's still good. I think I did it bad, but I didn't really do it bad. Let me just push this back a little bit so I'm not doing too much. I was like, why did the music stop? What happened? Did my headphone break? What are you talking about, man? How can you possibly say that? You do realize that I'm only doing my job. As foreman of the jury, I have responsibility to steer everyone in the right direction. So where's your evidence, man? That's what we want to see. I say the two witnesses saw two different moments of the same crime. If you say that's out of the question, show me the proof. It looks like the only way I'm going to convince him is to present him with something he can't dismiss. Some irrefutable hard evidence. As you wish. What? I'll give you the proof. It's out of the question that the two witnesses saw two different moments of the same crime, as proven by the autopsy report. This is the victim's autopsy report. According to what's written here, Mr. Mason was stabbed in the abdomen. Only once. Only once? It's quite simple. The victim was stabbed precisely one time. Which means the witnesses couldn't possibly have seen it happen two different times. Alright, I concede defeat. I lost my knife forever. Wait, that means 4 jurors are now leaning to not guilty. We've done it, Mr. Naruhodo. We've won. What are you playing at, you dandy fool? Shut your trap, sir. No one deceives me. I got my knife back. But we had a consensus. I said shut your trap. I know a liar when I see one. And if the chap ever dares to cross the threshold of my shop, I'll take this... Why is it so... Hi, why is it so horny? Hello?
Hello? Um, 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 um. I'll take this razor-sharp blade and shave every last hair off his head. Please tell me he's a barber. Well, in a quite remarkable turn of events, the defense's summation examination has flipped the balance of the scales of justice. The jurors now stand at 2 for guilty and 4 for not guilty. Accordingly, there's no longer a large enough majority among the jury for me to adjudicate, and the trial must continue. Rabble, 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 rabble. I hereby ask the defense, prosecution, and witnesses to return to their places, and I call upon all of you to continue pursuing the truth. Let me do some quick refreshes. So, Lord Van Zeeks, continue to substantiate the case for the prosecution, if you please. Another bottle of wine, huh, buddy? Wait, is Grim Reaper wine? Is that Zagreus? You can't see my mouse. I was circling the bottle. Damn, they got Zagreus wine? That's pretty poggers. Oh, having savored the rich aroma of the carmine contents of this hallowed chalice, it may seem crass to crush it to dust. Pray forgive the discourtesy. Lord Van Zeeks! Brr, is it cold in here, or is it just me? As your antiquated tome no doubt says, the prosecution may not speak during a summation examination. So I honored a deathly silence and listened to the charade. It seems I overestimated the intelligence of the jury. Everybody's sweating. Well, no matter. There's nothing so hard to prove as a self-evident truth, it would seem. No, and why else would we grace the courtroom with our presence after all? So, let us proceed to the next round of battle. Oh. And bring forth the witnesses once more. There they come. Witnesses, I trust you heard the summation examination we have just had to endure. Oh, yes, sir. That I did, sir. Of course I heard it. That's not Jason Statham anymore. Oh, yes, sir. I heard it. You, sir, on the end. The coachman. I believe it's Beppo? Yes, sir, my lord, sir. If it transpires that in your previous testimony you were attempting to veil the presence of a 5th passenger on your omnibus, you will be found guilty of perjury. You are advised to bear that in mind, sir. Oh mio Dio. He's Italian. He's Italian. Can you believe it? He's Italian. Now then, I don't know why that caught me off guard. His name is Beppo. Why am I like obsessed with the fact he's Italian? I want to do a Mario thing, but I can't. I don't know how. Now then, witnesses, I hereby call on you to testify before the court again. You will explain the various misgivings brought to our attention by the defense's summation examination. Now to do Jason Statham again. Various misgivings. I only carried 4 passengers that night. I swear it, but, well, I for one was told I had to pay 5 pence for the bus. He fiddled us on the fare, he did. And then I saw that blood-curdling sight as well. It's all too much. I tell you, I saw Mr. McGilded stabbing that man. Everything I said before stands. Oh, yes, he stabbed him. Yes, he did. I think so, yes. You think so? Counsel, make sense of this for me, please. The phantom 5th passenger conjured into existence by my learned Eastern friend never existed. The confusion has arisen from the coachman's sly little cozenage. Beppo, explain yourself. I'm terribly sorry, Guildmaster.
These accents are all over the place. The guild fares 4 pence across the board. You know that. Am I to understand that you've been overcharging our passengers by a penny a fare?
It's so cold, and the last run of the day is always half empty.
You have been dishonest, coachman.
I'm sorry.
You're a disgrace, Beppo, a disgrace. And your selfish actions have brought dishonor on the entire guild.
If I may, sir, I had to pay 10 pence on the bus just last week.
What?
4 passengers at 5 pence each is, yes, 20 pence. I've done the arithmetic 10 times already, but I just can't make the result come out differently.
No, that figures. Well, it would appear that one of the aforementioned misgivings has already been explained. So, counsel for the defense, your cross-examination, if you please.
We've already had the pleasure of a protracted summation examination today. I see you intend to continue the parlor games.
Absolutely. I'm a little clown boy. Various misgivings, okay? I only carried 4 passengers that night, I swear it, but, what is it? I was told I had to pay 5 pence for the bus. Okay, let's press.
Hold it!
But, what? Tell me. So, there were only 4 passengers on your carriage, but you didn't charge them the standard 4 pence fare. Is that right? You're being quiet. What are you doing? Hello?
Excuse me.
Sir? Mr. First?
Oh, how can I help you, sir?
That last statement, did it trouble you in some way?
Oh, not particularly, sir, no.
If anything, he's troubling me with that hat of his. Has he greased his head?
Oh, dear sir, I hope my hat's not troubling you, sir. I'm still an apprentice, you see. Mr. Naruhodo, even the witness can see what's going through your mind. You really must be more careful.
I wish it were that simple. Okay, so that was not like... Let me go back. I only carried 4 passengers that night, I swear it, but I'm pressing you. So there were only 4, and you called them to... No one else. I thought that was just him being scared. Beppo?
It's impossible to make the last run of the day pay. I was so cold, so all I could do to stop myself passing out.
I'm getting chilblains just listening to you.
It was terrible. I wanted to give myself a pat in the back for everything, keeping the bus running. Doesn't a dedicated coachman deserve an extra penny per passenger?
You're digging a deeper hole for yourself here. If only there had been a 5th passenger on the omnibus that night. Then we would have had another suspect.
Well, I for one was told I had to pay 5 pence for the bus.
Fiddlers on the fare, he did. Then I saw that... Okay, let's press you. I'm sure it's nothing here. Actually, let me press... I'll press you first. Okay, wait. What else do we got?
I tell you, I saw Mr. McGill stabbing that man. Everything I said before stands.
He stabbed him. Yes, he did. I think so, yes. What do you mean I think so? What do you mean I think so? Earlier, you testified that you saw the moment when the defendant allegedly stabbed the victim, didn't you?
Oh, yes. Yes, that's right.
Are you freaking out? You said the victim was on the floor and described the assailant holding the knife in an ice pick grip.
I suppose I might have, yes. Put the cart before the horse, maybe?
What's this?
Well, I'm quite sure about most of it. I was driving the horses when I heard a scream from the seats on the roof deck.
Oh, I expect that was me, sir.
Then when I turned around, yes, I saw it through the skylight. The gentleman was on the floor and the knife was sticking out of his midriff. That's right, yes. And the fellow holding the handle was the famous man, yes. So in short, you didn't see the moment when the victim was actually stabbed at all? I really thought that I did, but when I go over it again in my head, no, I suppose I didn't actually see the precise moment of the stabbing, did I? Oh shit! Hello, sir? Why are you chewing? Hello? Do you have something to say about that, Mr. Fairplay?
Now you listen to me. I know what you're thinking. He didn't really see the exact moment the fellow was stabbed. What are the chances of that? Eh?
Are you asking me or telling me? He's getting flustered. I might be able to extract some new information from him if I answer him cleverly. Could he have just happened to see the exact moment the crime was committed? Can I just... You mind if I... Oh, that's Q, not G. I was like, why am I not able to save? Excuse me while I just do a little savesy wavesy. Yeah. We're getting it. I want to say no chance. Well, it is a little hard to believe, certainly. Unless you spend your time peeping through a skylight on top of an omnibus, that is.
Peeping? I'm a respectable city banker, I'll have you know. And I know what I saw. I remember it as clear as a Ballarat day. It was a grim scene, I don't mind telling you.
Thank you, Mr. Fairplay.
Oh, excuse me if I was getting a little hot under the collar there, Mr. Lord.
I would ask you to supplement your testimony with a clear statement about what exactly you saw.
Oh, I can do that all right. I'll tell you how grim it was. Do you think I'd forget about the sight of those blood-soaked hands after the butcher stabbed that man?
Blood-soaked hands? Blood-soaked hands? Blood-soaked hands? But gloves? Okay, press about this. I feel like there's a contradiction there. Blood-soaked?
Well, perhaps soak is laying it on a little thick, But anyway, there was definitely blood all over them. Both of them were covered in it.
And you saw that from the roof? Through the skylight?
Well, the skylight's reasonably large, so I had a pretty good view. And there was a lamp on the inside of the carriage as well, so I'm quite sure of what I saw.
This banker's latest statement. I feel sure there's something not quite right about it.
When you feel something doesn't add up, Mr. Naruhodo, that's when you should have a good look through the court record.
Not long ago, this trial very nearly came to an end. Somehow, we've managed to keep our chances alive here. I can't waste this cross-examination. I have to use it to bring some new facts to light.
If you're not careful when you press these witnesses, the danger is that the jury will end up believing something unhelpful, as they did before.
Maybe, but we can't let the fear of that happening stop us from uncovering important new information.
Yes, you're so right.
I need to pay careful attention to... I need to pay careful attention here. I don't want to miss even a flicker of a reaction among these witnesses.
Remember, if you happen to spot one of the witnesses reacting in a strange way, don't hesitate to pursue them as to the reason.
Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. You did a little bad there. Do you think I'd forget the hands of the butcher? Can I just show you something real quick? Those aren't pretty... I mean, these are not really that blood-soaked, I'd say. These are kind of like... Let's just... I always thought that... I mean, I thought they were going to talk about, you know, blood on the knife versus blood on the gloves, because I don't feel like this is, like, the most... I mean, it doesn't feel that damning that there's just a little bit of blood there, especially not even on the outside of the hands, where you'd think the blood would splatter more than the inside. But, I don't know.
Objection.
Let's see. Blood-soaked hands?
Well, I admit that soaked might be laying it on a little thick, but... But anyway, there was definitely blood all over 'em. Both of them were covered in it.
Well, I'm very sorry to disagree, Mr. Fairplay, but that's more than a little peculiar.
What?
Here are the gloves worn by the defendant, Mr. McGilded, on the night in question.
Oh, yes, right.
And there certainly does appear to be a sizable dark-colored stain there, but as I'm sure you can clearly see, it's only on the right-hand glove. Ah, yummy, yummy. In short, Mr. Fairplay, your testimony is inconsistent.
Ah, but no, that can't be right.
So you're the liar here, then? Yummy, 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 yummy. That's right, you're quite clear about it. You said, it was just both hands. Ugh, get my knife, please, help me. Oh my god. Mr. Fairplay, if your last statement was a lie, it calls your entire testimony into question. You say you saw the moment the victim was stabbed, but is that really the truth?
Objection.
It was a simple mistake. You can't justify accusing this man of lying. Yes, it wasn't both hands. It was only one, but the fact remains. The victim's blood was on the accused.
Objection.
No, Mr. Fairplay categorically stated that he saw blood all over both hands, which means that there's a strong possibility that the witness was deliberately trying to mislead the court.
Why, I'm a city banker, for pity's sake. My word should be the gold standard. I'm a gentleman, not some gutter snipe. Upstanding members of society don't prevaricate.
Big word. He's claiming to have no reason to lie. But is that really the case? Mr. Naruto, if we had some evidence to explain why Mr. Fairplay might be lying, it could turn the tide in this trial completely. Something to show this man has a compelling reason to lie in his testimony. Let's check this. You mind opening it up for me? This portfolio must contain all sorts of secrets about London's gentry.
Oh dear, do you really think we ought to look inside?
Well, it's not as though we know any of London's gentry personally, is it? Apart from our great detective friend, perhaps. Actually, I wonder. I assure you, we will not find Mr. Schoen's name inside. Well, let's see what we find. Let's just look through.
Gosh, it's crammed full of gentlemen's names, isn't it?
Well, I suppose they're probably not all gentlemen at all, are they? After all, not everyone in this country is well off.
Ah, goodness.
What is it?
Look at this. Do you see the name here?
Bruce Fairplay. Should that mean something to me? It does sound strangely familiar, actually.
Bruce Fairplay, the witness testifying at this very moment.
Oh yeah, of course, the banker. Banker? Why is his name in here? Ah, he borrowed 20 guineas, didn't he? And look, their payment date is fast approaching.
It's possible that this is just a coincidence, of course, but this could be very useful information.
Details of the debtor's ledger have been updated in the court record. There we go. There's our evidence. I have evidence. Fuck you. My lord. Yes, counsel? The defense is ready to present evidence. By Jove, are you sure? Yes, evidence that will clearly demonstrate why Mr. Fairplay had to lie in his testimony. Ha! Let me adjust and take a little sip of water. Open up my new bottle of water. Might have to turn my volume just a little down. It's a little overwhelming for me. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. I hereby call the defense to present its evidence. The evidence that demonstrates a motive for the witness's alleged deception of the court. Here we go. This one? Look at that. It's a ledger with his name and information in it. This is a list of the debtors who owe money to Mr. McGilden. Yes, a list of innocent victims, crippled by the accused's extortion. The point is, among the names of the debtors is your name. Mr. Bruce Fairplay? What? Mr. Fairplay, are you currently indebted financially to the accused? No. Well, it's barely worth being called a debt. According to this ledger, you owe 20 guineas. Not an inconsiderable sum of money, wouldn't you say? Ugh. Jason Statham scream. Well, what of it? Let's suppose Mr. McGilden were to be found guilty of murder. What would become of your debt in that case? These documents state that the loan agreement is forged between two individual parties. Therefore, were the creditor, the defendant here, to be sentenced to a capital punishment, all outstanding debts which were owed to him would be annulled. They would cease to exist. Cease to exist? Mr. Fairplay, is it not the case that you claimed in your testimony to have seen something you never in fact saw? In a devious attempt to annul your debt of 20 guineas to the defendant? Gug. That's my Jason Statham scream. I don't have the voice for it, but imagine it's good. Order, order, order. Mr. Fairplay? Yes, my lord. Let me ask you again, and be aware that your answer may have the most serious implications upon your future, sir. Did you or did you not see the precise moment in time in which the defendant is alleged to have thrust a knife into the victim? Ooh. You do be quaking, though. Your silence speaks volumes. You did not tell the truth in your testimony. All right. Now let's not make a melodrama out of this. Perhaps I did overstate the truth a pinch. A pinch? But it makes no difference. I definitely remember seeing blood on Mr. McGilden's hands. Both of them.
Objection.
And yet, only one of the defendant's gloves, which we have here as evidence, is stained. So you keep saying... I wonder if I might be allowed to speak, sir. Go ahead, Mr. First. Well, the thing is, I think I remember seeing it myself, as it happens. Seeing what? The blood, sir, on the assailant's hands. I think, yes. I'm almost sure that was on both of his hands, not just one. What? What? Ouchie. It would appear that we're going to need further testimony from all of you witnesses. This time, I would like to know precisely what you did and what you did not see. Do I make myself perfectly clear? Yards. Mr. Naruhodo, this is good news. The course of the trial seemed to shift slightly at last. Yes, we got it. I might finally have a chance to turn things around here. Witness testimony. Oop, I'm being called. Hold on. Oop, let me get this up. In that case, I would like to hear the opinion of the jury. Yes, I need a little time to consider this.
If you ask me, I think we should hear what Mr. McGilded has to say.
Get the man out here, I say. Ow, my knife. Ow, my little knife, see? It would be utterly illogical not to hear his testimony. When something needs done, get it done. That's how I run things at the guild. Hearing what the patron of my favorite little park has to say? Oh yes, that would be lovely. Yes, the jury says the man must be heard. Very well, the court will hear the defendant's testimony. Bailiff, show the defendant to the stand at once. Rabble, 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 rabble. Now, maybe what actually happened that night will finally become clear. Let proceedings be resumed. Mr. McGilded, have you been listening to the discourse of the day? To be sure I have, my lord. There are now two matters in which court desires to hear from you. The first is whether or not there is a third party in your omnibus cabin as proposed by the defense. The second is that if such a person was indeed present, why did you conceal the fact from the police? Begad, no, 'tis not in my nature to hide anything at all. Just answer the questions, please. The truth of the matter is, I've been desperate about this all along. Do I tell yous or keep me mouth shut? Tell us what, Mr. McGilded? The fine fellow representing me is absolutely right. In the carriage on the night myself, the other man, there was another passenger. It's true? Aye, and 'twas me who helped the little urchin get away after it all happened. You... what? Okay, now I understand why he wouldn't share that information. Yeah, me too.
No, Magnus McGilded, that convenient excuse won't save you now.
I'm truly sorry, so I am, Lord Van Zeeks. I'm sure you'll be wanting to know why I said nothing when I was taken in by the police. I do be having a very good reason, I assure you. Which was? Well, the little child was just in the wrong place at the wrong time and not in any way involved, you see. What? If the police had known that the wee one was there, they'd have assumed she'd done it. They'd have ordered her into here in this courtroom just like myself. I was only trying to spare her that. Young hearts and young minds are so easily damaged, my lord. And who is this young child of whom you speak? That I don't know. You don't know? Aye, well, the wee thing just happened to be in the carriage that night. I never saw her before or since.
Objection!
Okay, let me scoot up a little bit, because I'm into it.
We have absolutely no reason to believe this man.
The prosecution calls for the witnesses' statements to be disregarded by the court. You know, I wouldn't be so surprised if the urchin isn't here in this courtroom as we speak, listening to the proceedings. What? Bang. What? Bang. What? Ah, smoke. Ah, fire. There's a fire. Look, somebody's trying to get away after them. It's no use. I can't see through all this smoke. What is going on?
Be careful, Mr. Naruhodo. Cover your face. Bailiff, don't let the accused escape. Secure the omnibus.
I hereby call an emergency recess. Bailiff, ensure the defendant is in custody and clear the courtroom. What? What's happening? We were hurriedly removed from the smoke-filled courtroom by the bailiff. Amid scenes of chaos as people stumbled over one another in their desperation to flee the chamber. We had no idea what was happening. All we knew was that, for the time being at least, the trial was suspended. To be continued. I'm going to save my progress. We're continuing it right now. Let me get like a good sip of tea. Oop, save complete. Okay. Oh. February 18th, 12:52 p.m. The Old Bailey defendant's antechamber. Let's just take my sip of tea. My incredibly hot tea. Sorry for weird sipping noises. It's too hot for me to drink on its own, so I use my spoon. What on earth just happened here?
Mr. Naruhodo, I've managed to find out what happened.
Miss Susato?
I was told it's an advanced form of a smoke grenade, a type of exploding device that releases smoke.
A smoke grenade? It sounds like the sort of thing ninjas use.
They're just making sure everything is safe now. I think the trial will start again before long.
But who would have done something like that?
The police managed to catch someone who was trying to flee the courtroom, apparently.
Flee the courtroom? Why?
Well, it's a young girl of around 15, I hear.
A young girl? Then could it be the other passenger that Mr. McGilded was just talking about?
My thoughts exactly.
So he wasn't lying. Oh, what's become of Mr. McGilded, actually? There's so many things I need to ask him about, but he's not here.
I think he was summoned to the prosecution's antechamber to answer questions, along with the young girl.
Who is she, I wonder? And what was she even doing here at the trial? She was taking a huge risk, and for what possible benefit to herself?
There's another matter that's troubling me.
What's that?
The 20 pence.
Oh,
According to the coachman, Mr. Beppo, he took 4 passengers that night at a fare of 5 pence each. That comes to a total of 20 pence exactly.
But now it seems like there were in fact 5 passengers.
Which means the figures don't seem to add up again.
She's right. That is strange. Counsel for the defense, kindly proceed into courtroom. The trial will commence in 5 minutes. Oh, thank you, officer. We'll go in straight away.
Well, whoever she is, I imagine this young girl will be asked to stand and testify now. I really can't imagine what she's going to say, but it could alter the whole direction of this trial.
We'll know soon enough, Miss Susato.
Yes.
Woo. Murder trial. Little spicy, little fun. Fun murder trial. We're having fun here. 18th February. 1 p.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. There's the young girl next to Mr. McGilded. Look. She must have been the one who caused the disturbance before. Well, after a rather eventful recess, the court will now resume the trial of Mr. McGilded. Now then, Lord Van Zeeks.
My lord?
I believe you have established the cause of the smoke which failed proceedings earlier.
It seems to have been an advanced form of smoke grenade, of the sort typically employed by the army.
Good gracious, the army? What in the devil's name?
It was an elaborate attempt by a young girl to cloak her escape from the public gallery, but she was caught and now occupies the stand.
Your name, girl? Are you responsible for the smoke grenade which induced such pandemonium here in my courtroom? What is the meaning of this deplorable behavior?
Ahem, if I may, my lord.
Yes, Mr. McGilded?
I think perhaps I ought to explain here. Why is it that this wee lass was here in the first place, and why she tried to bolt like that? 'Tis all tied up with the events of that night, so it is.
Very well, Mr. McGilded. Give your testimony. You will explain to the court exactly how this young woman is involved in the case.
Just what did happen that night? It's not like a defense lawyer needs that information or anything. The young girl. On the night in question, I took the back seat in the omnibus and promptly nodded off. Then, Begorra, a loud thud and a wee scream woke me up with a fair start. There was a fella collapsed on the floor at me feet, so I sat him up in the seat across from me. Then I turned to find out where the scream had come from. And bless my soul. Oh my God. Bless my soul, what did I find? There was a child in there, all curled up in a ball, hiding her wee self away.
I remain somewhat baffled, I confess, but from what I gather, on the night in question, this young girl was indeed riding in the omnibus. Is that correct?
'Tis exactly as the defense counsel said. This lass was the fifth passenger, my lord.
Very well. The defense may now cross-examine the witnesses. Are you ready, counsel?
Yes, my lord. Or rather, no. I have no idea where to start. The young girl. On the night in question, I took the back seat in the omnibus and promptly nodded off. Then, Begorra, a loud thud and a wee scream woke me up with a fair start. There was a fella collapsed on the floor at me feet. Okay. What did I find? There was a child in there, all curled up in a ball. Okay, tell me about this. You say she was hiding herself? Aye, that's right. 'Twas hard to see in the dim lamplight, but she was all curled up in a wee ball. When our eyes met, well, me heart nearly stopped beating in me chest. Ugh, you're really overacting this. Still and all, I pulled her out from under there and sat her in the seat opposite so I could have a wee chin wag with her. The seat opposite. That's right, just next to the dead gentleman there. You sat this... Sorry, I broke character.
You sat this young girl next to a corpse, sir?
Well, as I'm sure I mentioned, a gentleman in my position can all too often find himself in mortal danger. So, I needed to find out... Yawning again. So I needed to find out who this urchin was, you see. And while I was in the middle of talking with her, I heard another scream, a fella's voice this time. Presumably the scream was Mr. First, who was still sitting on the roof deck seats. Yeah, right you all again, I would say, sir. Looking down through the skylight, he must have seen this young girl and the gentleman with the knife in his belly.
In other words, the previous witnesses did not in fact see you at all, Mr. McGilded. What they believed to be yourself and the victim was in fact this girl and the late Mr. Mason?
Aye, my lord. I was, as I think everyone understands now, sat at the back of my carriage out of sight.
It is certainly plausible. The defendant is somewhat diminutive in stature, and readily confused perhaps with this young girl.
After that, of course, with the scream from the gentleman over us, the driver realized something was wrong and pulled up the horses. I do wonder how you must be feeling, Mr. Naruhodo.
being the defendant's lawyer and yet finding myself as stunned as everyone else at his testimony? Let's just say it's trying.
We certainly had precious little time to talk to Mr. McGoldrick before the trial. But we mustn't be dispirited. We must learn. We gotta just get the facts, bro.
When we arrived in London this morning, I didn't see my day panning out like this.
Mr. Naruhodo, no grumbling, even in your head.
How did you know?
On the night in question, I took the back seat in the omnibus and promptly nodded off. Then, before a loud thud.
Okay, tell me about the thud.
Hold it!
A loud thud, you say? And a scream?
Aye, that's right. How can I explain it? 'Twas like the sound of someone falling through the ground. To the ground.
Not through.
That sort of noise.
So you think it's the sound of Mr. Mason falling to the floor having been stabbed?
Well now, you'll remember I was asleep at the time, so I wouldn't like to say. And when the sound woke me and I opened my eyes, there wasn't a soul to be seen in the carriage but the fellow on the floor.
You didn't see anyone. But the same moment, you did hear a scream? Oh, from the seats above you on the roof deck, I presume?
Not above me, no, my lord. 'Twas from inside the cabin.
Oh, she was hiding. She was hiding in there, so maybe... Yeah, sounds like she was hiding in there. Okay.
But I wasn't altogether thinking about the scream. No, I was too stunned by the desperate sight before me eyes.
There was a fella collapsed on the floor at my feet, so sorrow while I see a crash on me. Okay. Okay. Then I turned to find out where the scream had come from, and bless my soul, what did I find? There was a child there, all curled up in a ball, hiding her wee self away. Oop. No, don't make me do this again. Let's just do this. Okay. No grumbling. I got this. Second night. Then Bigora. There's a fellow collapsed on the floor at my feet. Why'd you do that?
Hold it!
You sat him up? The victim, you mean?
That I did, on the seat across from me, as I said. I could plainly see that poor devil was already gone. And you wouldn't leave a dead man just lying on the floor now, would you? 'Tis common courtesy, so it is. I find that a little hard to believe.
Ara. Ara.
Lord Van Zeeks, now why would that be? You wake up to find a man lying dead at your feet in a carriage. Any normal person would hail the cabman. Any upstanding member of London society, that is. Well now, as you know, I'm in something of a special line of business.
The business of lending money at exorbitant rates of interest?
Unfortunately, my lord, not everyone is thankful for the help I offer them, and some would even see me dead. So I do try, where at all possible, to avoid getting myself in a tangle of trouble.
Are you suggesting you were just gonna leave the man there?
Heavens no, I always intend to report it. So I was. Only, I'd a mind to find out the whys and wherefores first.
The whys and wherefores?
Right you are. There were some details I wanted to understand before anyone else got to meddling. That wee scream I heard, for example. Wouldn't your good self do just the same?
Yes, the scream he says he heard at the same time as the thud of the victim collapsing. And I turned to find out where that scream had come from. Bless my soul, what did I find? I don't feel like there was a child there, all curled up in a ball, hiding her wee self away. Where did it come from? Tell me where it came from. I think that's what they want me to do. I'm afraid I don't understand. I'm sure you told the court that there's no one else in the carriage except yourself and the victim.
So I did, sir, so I did. As far as I could see, that is.
What do you mean by that?
Well now, 'tis a queer thing. The wee scream I heard as soon as I woke up.
It came from, if you'll excuse the vulgar expression, under me backside. Good gracious. Under your backside? Did you fart, man? And when I lifted the seat on which I'd been sitting, I found there was a wee cubbyhole in there for storage. Mr. Naruhodo, we can examine the omnibus ourselves, remember? Yes, of course. The whole bus was submitted as evidence. This would be a very good time to have a thorough look around inside. That's when I found her. Let's look at my evidence. Boop. Go inside. Okay. I mean, it seems like this sort of lines up with everything he's saying. That's blood, isn't it? Is something wrong? Oh, it's just, well, this blood stain is so obvious, that's all. And yet Van Zieks has made no mention of it. I suppose that does seem a little strange. Why do I have such a bad feeling about this? That's blood that's soaked into the seat. The victim's, obviously. Yes, and that seat would be clearly visible from the roof deck. Would you really stab someone in full view of the other passengers like that? I wonder. Well, it was after dark, and there was a lamp on in here, so perhaps the culprit couldn't see anything outside through the skylight. Whichever way you look at it, it doesn't seem like it was a planned attack. Now let's check this. The seat has a handle, it seems. This is a storage compartment, but there's nothing in here. It's totally empty. Something doesn't seem right here, but I can't put my finger on what it is. Yeah, it had stuff in it. That's what I'm thinking. It had stuff in it. So where'd the stuff go? Hiding herself away. Let's press this now that I've looked at it. Maybe it'll change. Say she's hiding herself. Aye, that's right. 'Twas hard to see in the dim lamplight, but she's all curled up in a wee ball. When others met, well... Yeah. Sat her on the seat opposite so I could have a wee chin wag with her. That's right. Sat next to the corpse. That's cool. And then... So... Find out who this urchin was. Another scream. Presumably the scream was... Come on. Knife in his bellies. I believe to be you. Yeah. I'm alone. When says I think everyone can understand now. Okay, rabble. It's certainly plausible. The defendant is somewhat diminutive in stature. Yeah. He's a little short king. The scream from the gentleman above us. Yeah. Do you wonder how you must be? Yeah. Let me take a quick little, let's get this through, and then I'll do like a quick sip of my tea. Let's do this. Quick sip of my tea. It's not like a very quick sip, sorry. That's good. Might be a little gross. I'll just cut those out. Night question. Okay, let's press this. And when you first got into the omnibus, were there any other passengers already on board? There were not. The cabin was empty and there was no one on the roof deck either. You were the first passenger, as it were. I see. Aye, and that's when I took the back side, I did. 'Tis most comfortable, so is it? Could you explain exactly what you mean by the back seat? By all means, 'tis how you already described it earlier. I'm talking about the seat opposite the one which the poor gentleman who stabbed was sitting. Like I said, 'tis most comfortable, where I feel at most ease. And of course, I enjoy gazing through the skylight from the time to time as well. Thank you, I've heard enough. Oop. The events explained are clear in my mind. However, at least one conundrum remains. Who is this girl? Her name is Gina Lestrade, my lord. She's a chancer, earns her crust among large crowds, relieving people of their purses. What's commonly called a pickpocket.
What?
This girl here? A petty thief?
She would never steal someone's life, right?
Order? Order? Is this true, Miss Lestrade? Miss Lestrade, you will answer the question. Arg! How dare you? What is the meaning of this? Ah, the girl, she's gone.
Open your eyes.
I'm over here. Good gracious, how?
What was the point in that little sidestep? I know what you lot are thinking, grown-ups are all the same. This dirty little dipper, you say, slipped up and got caught up on the job. She got herself backed in the corner, so she knifed the gent. Go on, that's what's in your heads, ain't it?
No, not at all. This is a court of law. We're here to determine the truth, not cast...
Look, knives are for cowards. Only thugs use weapons like that, and all I need for what I do is these fingers. I'm a professional, alright? Maybe not in your eyes, but I got pride in what I do.
Let me guess. You don't count smoke guns among weapons for thugs?
Oh, this? Yeah, this was in a bag I lifted the other day, down where they keep four-wheel drags. It's nice, isn't it? I like the pink best.
Do not wave that thing in my direction again. Sorry, excuse me?
So, you admit that you were riding the omnibus on the night in question? "'Tis all right, lass. You can tell him the truth now." "All right, yeah. Just like the Irishman said."
Is he Irish? I haven't been doing his stuff as Irish. I'm really bad at accents, huh? The court accepts the girl, Miss Gina Lestrade, as a valid and significant witness in this case. Accordingly, young lady, we will now hear your testimony, if you please. You will tell the court exactly what happened on the omnibus in the night in question.
All right, if I have to.
What the girl saw.
So I snuck inside the carriage before they ooped up the horses, just like always. But it was right waste of time. I got nothing to show for me troubles that night. I'll tell you, you can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitch in there. Then, after a while, I hear this loud bang. Nearly jump out my skin, I did, and the scream just came out. It's because of that this swell found me. He did help me get away, mind.
Yes, he let you go. I fail to understand why you would let this street urchin go, Mr. McGilded.
Oh, 'tis simplicity in itself, me lord. You see, she couldn't possibly have killed the other passenger. I knew that for a fact.
How?
As I'm sure I said before, sir. I was sitting right on top of the place where she was hiding herself.
I think a demonstration is called for.
This is where I sat that night.
And the cubbyhole of which you have spoken is underneath this seat, I presume. Yes, it does appear just large enough to accommodate someone of this girl's stature. Aye, but of course, the wee lass was stuck in there. Because I parked myself on the seat for the duration. Ah. So you see, that's why I let the girl the last boat. I knew that if the police found her in there, they'd automatically assume she'd done it. But I couldn't have lived with myself if the girl's young life was ruined when I knew she was innocent. Even though you must have realized your action would result in your own innocence being called into question. Not at all, my lord, not at all. I knew in my own heart that I was innocent. So I thought it was worth taking a punt on my own good name for the sake of this less fortunate lass. My goodness. What a perfect gentleman. My lord, this fine example of a man cannot possibly be guilty of a heinous crime like this. I'm ashamed of myself for ever doubting you, sir. With calm, calculated reasoning, one arrives clearly at the truth every time. Oh, did we do it? Saints alive! All 6 members of the jury consensual and are the leaning to a verdict of not guilty? What? What are words?
Mr. Naruhodo, it must mean
It must mean what?
that we're victorious.
We've won? Are you sure?
Objection!
Oh,
If the sight of my ironed heel Wellington offends, pray do forgive the discourtesy. This really is a consummate example of the one monumental fall in British judicial practices. Where evidence and reasoning should be paramount, emotion rules the day.
emotion.
The witness's last statement gives us a clear insight into his true nature.
What do you mean, his true nature?
Do you really think Scotland Yard would have made such a glaring omission? After the incident, the omnibus is comprehensively searched by officers of the police. Obviously, the interior of this cubbyhole, as the witness put it, was included in their investigation. The compartment under the posterior is full of the coachman's belongings. It's noted in black and white here in the police report.
Good lord.
The evidence has been tampered with. In order to corroborate Mr. McGilded's story, someone has unlawfully removed everything from under the seat.
What? I mean, I knew this. Order? Order. How could such a devious contrivance possibly have been effected, counsel?
Naturally, we must acknowledge the deficiencies of the constabulary in allowing this to have happened. However, I assure you, when the omnibus was wheeled into the courtroom this morning, the compartment under the seat was not empty. Well,
shut the fuck up. Me?
when the carriage was submitted as evidence, doubtless you examined it in fine detail, as would any self-respecting practitioner of the law. Pray, what did you find in the condition of the underseat compartment to be?
I mean, I can tell you.
Oh, to be sure, the young gentleman will be able to clear this up in a jiffy.
Sorry?
Go ahead. You tell the court now, fella. Oh, this is all an elaborate excuse by the desperate Lord Van Zeeks.
Well, counsel, do you have something to say on this matter? How am I supposed to answer? What can I say about the state of the little compartment under the seat of the omnibus? It wasn't empty. I really don't know if giving this answer is helping my cause as a counsel for the defense, but as far as I remember at least, when I first examined the compartment, I'm fairly certain there was a number of articles inside it, yes. Are you sure, counsel? Oh, a beast. What are you saying, you daft door? I thought you were on my side here. He's like, what? What? Not lying? No perjury? I'm not playing a game. I saw it. Buddy, I saw it. What game are you playing? Your task is to defend the man in the stand. Why would you say something to compromise his position? As the advocate for the defense in this trial, I confess I'm still not entirely sure where I stand, but it seems to me that I should state what facts I do know as clearly and honestly as possible. Interesting. 'Tis not altogether pleasing, fella. I'm simply telling the truth, Mr. McGilded. Well, don't forget what you're supposed to be representing my best interests here, lad. Now then, a fella's memory's a curious thing, not altogether reliable. No, the court must consider the facts. That there cubby hole in the seat is as empty as the devil's heart, so it is. Do you think perhaps it would be in your best interest now to admit that you might have been mistaken? Why? Why do I feel like something's not right here? I should like the jury to weigh in on this matter, I think. That compartment is designed to house equipment used to maintain the smooth running of the carriage. The guild's rules state that the omnibus should be properly and fully equipped at all times. So naturally, wouldn't have been empty the night questioned. Beppo isn't that irresponsible. Maybe. That money-lending fleecer and pick-purse are lying. I can't believe I was nearly taken in. The stinking rich are always stinkers. Nothing but cowards, a lot of them. What? Oh no. It's a trick, of course it's a trick. Uh-oh. Quite so, I must concur here. But why? Okay, is anyone wondering why he would lie about that? It doesn't really make him look innocent. With calm, calculated reasoning, one arrives clearly at the truth every time. Yes, but every time a different truth, it seems. My lord, I humbly exhibit the scales of justice. Clearly, a verdict of not guilty at this time would be wholly inappropriate. Thank you, counsel. But before we proceed any further, there's a matter of the outstanding cross-examination. Counsel for the defense, begin your questioning of the witness, please. Yes, my lord. What just happened? The whole balance of the trial just shifted almost beyond recognition. The Reaper of the Bailey is at work, it would seem. What the girl saw. I smoked inside the carriage before they hooked up the horses, just like always. Just like always. Hold on. I just wanna... Can I look at the people? No, I can't. The notes, just like always. It sounds like you do this a lot. So, you were already in the omnibus before it even set off on its run? Well, yeah, I mean, what's the point spending a Joey to make a few That's a rum idea, isn't it? I suppose she means there's no point in spending money to make money. It actually makes sense. Counsel, may I remind you that this girl is a petty thief? kindly refrain from entertaining her tenants. Well, that does clear up the little mystery of the fares and all. Full paying passengers at 5 pence apiece, making the 20 to which the cabman testified. And one little scapegrace riding for free. The red conch of a driver always goes for some grub before its last run, you see. So that's when I slip in the carriage and get myself in under the seats. Nice and easy, right? But your hiding place is a storage compartment, full of equipment for the coach, no? Yeah, there's brushes and buckets and whatnot in there, sure. I always chuck all that out and cram it in the corner somewhere. No one ever seems to bother much. And yet, according to the report filed by the police officer who first arrived at the scene, the compartment was full of such paraphernalia. Well, I don't know nothing about that. Like I said, I move all that stuff out so I could hide under the seat. That's all I can tell you. It seems we've reached the end of that line of inquiry. Continue. But it was all wasted time. I got nothing to show for me troubles that night. I'll tell you can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitch in there. Then after a while, I hear this loud bang. I jump out of my skin. Because that swell found me. He did help me get away, mind. Okay. Came out. Tell me about that. When you say a loud bang, do you mean the noise of someone falling to the floor? Could have been, I suppose. I don't remember so well. Point is, it made me jump. And you let out a scream involuntarily? That's right. Then I felt the cushion over me head get lighter all of a sudden. Presumably when the defendant got up in order to help the victim, yes. Or not. It could equally have been the moment the accused stood in order to stab his victim. Could it not? Well, girl, did you see what happened at the crucial moment? Yeah, I saw it. I pushed up the cushions and had a quick butch as well as had the chance, didn't I? The Irishman was sitting up the bloke who had fallen on the floor in the seat opposite. That matches Mr. McGilder's account, of course. But then, the fellow suddenly turns around and looks right at me. I sunk back down again, but it was too late by then. Should never have risked looking. It's because of that, this one found me. He did help me get away, mind. Why'd he help you? And when Mr. McGilder discovered you, he pulled you up from your hiding place? I was scared stiff, I was. He dragged me out and sat me on the seat and all. Next to the victim, Mr. Mason? Yeah, the bloke had a knife in his guts. He was still bleeding. Then the carriage lurched a bit and he ended up falling on me. How awful. Both me hands got covered in blood. Not dog, I read ahead. Got covered in blood. It made me feel sick as a dog. Both her hands covered in blood. That must be when the rooftop passengers saw. After that, I believe you talked with Mr. McGilder for a while. Is that correct? He asked me some stuff. Wanting to know me name and what I was up to and that. Then I heard something from up above. Someone screamed. Yes, Mr. First on the roof deck, one would presume. Well, I didn't want no one to see me face, so I didn't look up. Then the horses were drawn up smartish, and this here Irishman says to me, "Get back under the seat. I'll see that you can get away later." But why? All 6 members of the jury had decided the defendant was innocent. For one brief shining moment, yes. It's clear they are still very unsure. If we could just find some conclusive piece of evidence among this new testimony, I'm sure we could clinch in the verdict we want. Yes, I think you're right, and I have this feeling. Something's bothering me, but I just can't quite put my finger on it. Snuck aside, catch before they hooked up the horses, just like always, but it was a right on waste of time. I got nothing to show for me troubles. Tell ya, you can't sign up. Tell me if this.
Hold it!
So you couldn't see out the cabin at all? Not a jaunt. Most days I'd push the coven up with me head and look out the crack. Then I can even have a butcher Then I can have a butcher's that I'm gonna fiddle, who I'm gonna steal from. I thought you were a pickpocket, not a butcher. I mean, I gotta have a look. The seat I get under ain't as plush as the other one, you see? So most of the time, the passengers plant themselves opposite. But for some reason that night, Dizzy Irishman spent the whole journey right over me head. And for that reason, you weren't able to push the cushion up to peek. Out. I see. Ooh, that's a little suspicious. Truth is, I ain't too happy in small dark places.
Well, now.
Feels too much like being thrown in the clink. Okay, what are you thinking about?
Excuse me.
Sir, what are you laughing about? Why are you laughing? What's so funny? Is something wrong, Mr. McGilded? Oh, I do apologize. Was there something the matter, Counsel? I'm just wondering if Miss Lestrade's last comment made something occur to you, perhaps? You seem to be thinking something to yourself. Oh, no, 'twas nothing important. I was feeling bad for the poor lass is all. I remember feeling desperate myself as a young lad, shut up in the dark. 'Twas terrifying, so it was. I see. Yes, I'm sure we can all sympathize. I'm still scared of the dark now. And I don't know about yourself, but I find the darkness seems to make everything you hear seem much louder as well. Yeah. I suppose it does. Maybe. Miss Lestrade? Did you hear something that night? Anything? An unusual noise, perhaps? Nah, not really. All I could hear was the Irishman snoring. Bejabbers, I can't do an Irish accent, so I'm not even gonna try. There's no need to tell the whole world of me foibles, you little scamp. What a pity. If only Miss Lestrade had heard something, it might have given us a vital new clue. Yes. What shall we make of that last statement of hers? It's profoundly important. My lord, I believe the statement just made by the witness is profoundly important. Profoundly important? But all she said was that she heard nothing. Yes, which is a profoundly important point. I'm almost sure of it. I'm almost sure that I don't understand the inner workings. Okay, shut up. Nevertheless, Miss Gina Lestrade, you will supplement your formal testimony by repeating that statement, please. What? Supplement? What are you on about? Don't give me all your fancy talk. I know what you're trying to do, but it won't work on me. That's right. Insult the judge. Always a good move. I was straining my ears to work out what's going on, but all I could hear was snoring. Then after a while, I hear this loud bang. Nearly jumped out my skin, I did, and the scream just came out. It's because of that the swell found me. Okay. Blind thing in the hiding place. Okay. Going on, but I could hear her snoring. Okay, let's press this. Was it him snoring or was it someone else? So you're straining to hear what was happening the entire time since the moment you hid yourself. Well, exactly no. Sorry. Well, there was no one in the cabin to start with. I could just push the cushions up and have a butcher's to see what was what. But then, when I saw this swell getting on, I got me head down so he didn't notice me. And Mr. McGilded sat on the seat under which you were hiding, correct? Yeah. Would you Adam and Eve it? Eh? What a mug. So then, all I could do was listen. I was waiting to jump out there as soon as I heard him leave, see? But would he? Not likely. Even though we stopped here and there, I never heard the door open, so I just had to stay put and listen to him driving his pigs to market, snoring like an old dog he was. Are there any conclusions we can draw from that, I wonder? It I'm not sure. I mean, it's questioning me. So, why wouldn't I just say, yeah. There's something odd about it. I'm just gonna say there's something odd about it. I'm just calling you out. I don't know what I'm calling out, but I'm calling it out. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it. Miss Lestrade, what you have just told the court is clearly at odds with the facts. Ah, at odds? Are you sure, man? Absolutely. It seems oh my god, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. So Van Zeeks realized it too. Counsel, I must insist you bolster your claim with evidence, or some complicit party's name at the very least. Yes, my lord. I expect you to demonstrate this alleged contradiction to the court. According to Miss Lestrade, while she was hiding in the omnibus that night, she heard nothing but the sound of Mr. McGilden's snoring. But think, Ryunosuke, think. There's something else she should have heard. There's this guy screamed. He did a scream, bro. He did like a big scream. Very well, my lord. Allow me to elaborate. On a particular sound that Miss Lestrade couldn't have failed to hear in the night in question. The sound very clearly explained by the presence of the falling person. Oh, she's so young. Look at this baby. There's so many babies here. Baby squad. Oh my god, baby squad. Well, I'm that age. Okay. Okay. Lady first. Lady first. Let me check this. Bruce Fairplay, Beppo, thrice fired Mason. Okay.
Take that!
Lady first did a scream. Come on. It would seem phantoms are at work again. This time in... Oh my god, shut the fuck up. I concur. No sound apparent to me at all. Oh. He screamed. Allow me to introduce you to a sound that would be very real indeed, however. The sound of your death throes. Ag. He's right. That was loud. Well then, counsel? According to Miss Lestrade, while she was hiding in the omnibus that night, she heard nothing but the sound of Mr. McGilden snoring. But think, Ryunosuke, think. Think, buddy. There's something else she should have heard. Let's just do a quick save. That's cool. Making my mistakes. Okay. Okay. What are we doing? Here's some evidence. Here's evidence? Hello? Can I show you my evidence? Can I show you the evidence? Clearly explained by the following piece of evidence. Can I show you this evidence? You buy an old crooked hat. Can I show you the evidence? What the fuck is the evidence? What's inside? What's the evidence? I'm a little, tell me what's just... Wouldn't he scream? Hi, wouldn't he scream? Oh my god. Concur. Yeah, we love it. We love that. We love to see it. We love to see it. We love to see it. What did she hear? Something else she should have heard. Hello? Is there another person? Who screamed? Who screamed? Witness the incident? Did you scream? Are you the one who screamed? Who screamed? Oh my god. We love to see it. We love to see it. I'm gonna reload. Because I'm like one thing away. Let me just, reload. Let's just, yeah, let's just, yeah. Like, nobody pay attention, but, like, just let me, reload. Something else she should have heard. Let's look at the court record. What else should she possibly have heard? Gives cause of death, hemorrhaging due to trauma. Well, he fell. Oh, is it? I'm gonna check something. Let me show evidence. It might be the blood stain on the floor. Sound very clearly. What the fuck? Well, let's open the door. Is this it? Is this the evidence? Hi, is this the evidence? Hi. Is this the evidence? Blood, isn't it? Is something wrong? Is that it? Is that it? Is it on here? Is it this?
Take that!
Is it this one? Oh my god, what the fuck? Oh my god. Oh my god. This is so tragic. Right, that was loud. What the fuck am I missing? According to Miss Lestrade, while she was hiding the omnibus that night, she heard nothing but the sound of Mr. McGilda's snoring. But think, Ryunosuke, think. There's something else she should have heard. Did I do the guy? Did I do the guy? I thought I did the guy. Thought I did the guy. Maybe I didn't do the guy. I don't remember doing the guy. Let me show the guy. You know the guy who got murdered. You should have heard the guy. Clearly. You should have shown this. Okay, I did it. Thrice fired Mason? Yes, my lord. The sound that Miss Lestrade cannot have failed to hear is that of the victim, Mr. Mason, boarding the omnibus. Order, order. Explain your reasoning, counsel. Miss Lestrade, allow me to confirm something. You claimed earlier that you were the first person to board the omnibus. Isn't that correct? Yeah, of course I was. I got on while the driver was in the pub, didn't I? And the next person to board the omnibus was Mr. McGilden? That it was not a soul in the cabin when I climbed on board. At least not in plain sight. So you were, to all intents and purposes, alone in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus at the time? Did I not just say as much? I wasn't traveling with anyone else, if that's what you mean. Yeah, I saw him get on, remember? Through the crack under the seat cushion. He was on his own for sure. And from what we've heard, the carriage made a number of stops on its onward journey. During which time, did you not hear the door opening or closing at all? Nah, I never heard it. That's exactly what I was listening for, wasn't it? Waiting for the swell to leave. In which case, when and how did the victim end up in the carriage? Ah. We know that the victim collapsed inside the enclosed cabin of the omnibus. Therefore, Miss Lestrade's statement about what she did or did not hear is at odds with the facts. Yes, this petty thief statement is clearly flawed. Lord Van Ziegs. Yes, he knew all too well that there was an inconsistency in Miss Lestrade's statement. It would seem words of thanks are in order for my learned friend. What are you talking about? You have demonstrated matters impeccably. This witness and her colorful statements are entirely unreliable. Her words are convenient untruths, nothing more. He's dead right. How could the victim possibly not have boarded the omnibus? That makes no sense whatsoever. And this girl is a pickpocket, let's not forget that. Yoink. Grandma, no! Ah, she didn't even say anything. I didn't want to judge the dear little mite just because she had some rather naughty ways. But I must say, I can't abide liars. And neither can I. Mr. Foreman, I didn't want to judge the girl just because she has less than salubrious ways. But I must say, I cannot abide liars.
Mr. Naruhodo, that's 5 jury members leaning towards guilty. Well, your consideration for others is refreshing to the considerable troubles you have spared me. Yes, very refreshing.
Ag. What are you playing at? Have you forgotten who you're working for? Oh my god, why is it so horny? This carnage, it's perfect.
Juror number 2 is the only one left. Mr. Naruhodo, the way this is going...
I know, if we can't find some new way to convince everyone of Mr. McGilded's innocence, the judge will rule and we'll just have lost.
I very much want to believe the words of one of London's most respected gentlemen, but those of us in service know we must accept hard truths.
Hold it!
Yes, the witness's last statement seems to have revealed a critical inconsistency in her story. However, if we consider the possibility that her statement is in fact the truth, it may shed an entirely new light on the whole case.
What are you saying?
Counsel? That was the wrong voice.
I'm sorry, sir. Whatever do you mean?
Counsel, I will not tolerate you attempting to prolong my adjudication. Explain yourself at once.
When the accused boarded the omnibus on the night in question, the victim was nowhere to be seen. Subsequently, the carriage door was not heard opening a single time, as testified by the witnesses in the stands.
He was dropped from... Oh my god, he was dropped from the skylight. Totally, that's totally it. And yet the victim's body was found inside the carriage.
If this petty thief's words are to be believed, how do you explain the victim's miraculous appearance inside the cabin of the omnibus?
Dropped through the skylight. You see that big old blood stain? That's it. That's why. There's only one way to explain how the victim came to be inside the carriage. There's another entrance. Buddy pal? If the door wasn't opened even once, the only explanation is that the victim entered the enclosed cabin some other way.
Objection!
There's a skylight, buddy. There's a skylight. There's a skylight.
I wonder what new fantasy you would come up with in your blind panic. But behold, the omnibus is here for all to see. Only one side of the enclosed cabin is furnished with a door. The other only has windows. Fixed windows, which cannot possibly open. In short, there is no entrance to the cabin other than the door.
Objection!
No, fuck you. There's a skylight. But there could be. There's one possibility you haven't considered.
Oh, really?
Yes, one other way inside that isn't the door. Another opening, the use of which allowed the victim to appear inside the enclosed cabin. All right, counsel. The defense will identify the location for the court. Here's the omnibus which the incident occurred. Where on earth is this entrance by which you propose the victim enter the cabin? Skylight. Skylight.
Take that!
It's a fucking skylight. The answer is obvious. It could only have been the skylight. I say, the skylight?
Objection!
Your ludicrous proposal almost had me lost for words. However,
Objection!
shut the fuck up. Fuck you. The skylight may well be large enough for someone to pass through.
Objection!
So you claim. But do you have a shred of evidence to support your addle-brained theory? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Both Mr. McGilden and Miss Lestrade said the same thing in their testimonies. They each claimed to have heard a loud thud, such as a noise made by someone falling to the floor. Yes, which has already been explained, as the sound of the victim falling from his seat having been assaulted with a dagger. Yes, it has. But would a man slipping from the seat onto the floor really have made such a loud noise as the witnesses describe? A noise loud enough to cause Miss Lestrade to let out an involuntary cry, in fact. Good gracious. Perhaps, in fact, that was the moment the victim made his entrance into the cabin. No, let me rephrase that. The victim didn't enter the cabin as such. He fell into it.
Objection!
You're now suggesting that the victim fell from the skylight into the cabin? That's simply impossible. How can you be so sure? Because if the victim had fallen inside through the skylight, as you say, the passengers on the roof deck would have seen it happen. Exactly. And yet, not one person made mention of such events in their testimonies. Well, yes, that's true, but... Might a humble fella make a wee comment here? Mr. McGilden? To be sure now, the two fellows who were sat on the roof that testified afore said nothing of the victim falling through the skylight. But it seems to me, my lord, that 'tis not so much a case of them not saying, but... 'tis a case of them being unable to say... What? I think perhaps the two fellows do be having something of a compelling reason not to mention what happened. Would yous not agree, fine ladies and gentlemen of the jury? Oh my goodness, surely not. Those two chaps on the roof? You mean the ones who stuck the knife in the man were... I mean, hold it. Who's stopping me? Oh, it's them. Just what exactly are you insinuating here, you blitherer? You rotter, he said. Why is he like this? You rotter, I said, you rotter, what are you insinuating? This is a flaming outrage. I've a good mind to give you a blinker in a few minutes. In a minute. He'll give you a shiner in a minute, he said, and so will I. Everyone's accents are blending together. Mr. Fairplay. You're effectively accusing me, a city gentleman and well-respected banker, and me, a very angry hatter, suggesting that someone like me could have stabbed that man in the guts. It's a disgrace. It's scandalous. It's yummy. I protest in the strongest possible terms. That's right, I protest too, about you rotten scoundrel. I mean, it seems like it could be. Order. This is not the time, witnesses. I will not permit this wanton invasion of the stand. Return to the anteroom at once. But this is beyond reason, my lord. It's outrageous. It's very hurtful, you know. My lord, if I may comment. Go ahead, Lord Van Zeeks. It was the defense that incited this outburst from the witnesses. My learned friend has seen fit to abandon all protocol and accuse the witnesses without proof. Accuse? I never intended to. It seems, young man, that your command of the English tongue is what... Shut up. You propose to this court that the victim fell through the skylight from the roof deck of the omnibus. That hypothesis cannot possibly stand without the rooftop passengers being aware of the events. You have branded these gentlemen liars. You have intimated their criminal guilt. In our British courts of law, that is what is termed a baseless accusation. I know it was rash to put this idea forward without any actual evidence, but you can't just dismiss it without a second thought. Why are we wasting time for? Get them to testify. I thought there was something fishy about that hat from the moment I laid eyes on the fella. That's the wrong accent. We have to see this through no matter what, one way or another. If there's filth and rubbish in our midst, we must dispose of it at once. Define. Oh, they're voicing it for me. What's happening, Mr. Naruhodo? The spectators in the public gallery they're in a complete frenzy. Mr. Fairplay and Mr. First? My lord? You will take the stand again and make another formal testimony in reference to the indictment brought by the defense. Yes, my lord. I didn't come here for this. There's no time to think this through. All I can do is keep pushing forward. Witness testimony. Refuting the accusation. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick drink. Oop, and refresh some stuff. Let's see how long I've been going. Doing good time. Let me see what else I got. Someone atted me. Who atted me? Okay, I'm seeing some stuff. Okay. Let's check my stuff. Let's take a quick thing of my tea before I actually continue, because that's who I am. Okay, that's tea. That's good shit. Okay. We were the only two people up on that roof deck, dead or alive. I can swear to that. If anything that had happened when we were sitting, don't you think one or the other would have noticed? In any case, neither of us know the first thing about the victim. We had no reason to kill the man. The skylight was shut the entire time, I tell you. We couldn't possibly have opened it. If you're so sure the victim fell through the skylight, where's your proof? I must say that on listening to this testimony, it is somewhat hard to imagine how either witness could have performed any malevolent act on top of this rooftop, without the other noticing forthwith. That's right, you see. We're innocent, I tell you. Although logically, of course, the argument falls down to the two of you in collusion with each other. What? Eh? According to the investigations by Scotland Yard, the two witnesses share no common dealings. Okay, I like this guy. Huh, well, I don't trust coppers more than I trust the stinking rich. I like this horny fellow. He's cool. Something doesn't feel right here. The trial is going in our favor, really. So I don't feel so uneasy. Counsel for the defense, over to you. Your cross-examination, please. Oh, yes, my lord. Refuting the accusation. You'll need two people up on the rooftop. They're alive, I can swear to that. Okay, pressing on that. So at no time did the victim, Mr. Mason, climb up to join you on the roof deck? Absolutely not, Dickin. No question about it, he said. None at all. No one else? Oh, but yes, of course. I remember seeing them both. I saw the victim inside the enclosed cabin talking to this man here. Is this true, Mr. McGilded? Dear me, my lord, at the risk of repeating myself, I boarded the omnibus alone and nodded off inside almost immediately. That's an outright lie. Without a doubt, you were engaged in... Let me stop you there, fella, and ask, do you have any evidence at all? At all? Ah. 'Tis all about evidence in the courts these days, so it is. You do well to remember that. I saw you with my own eyes. This is going so well. If anything had happened while we were sitting, don't you think one or the other would have noticed? Let me press into that. Well, I was on the final run of the omnibus at past 10 o'clock in the evening. It would certainly have been quite dark, perhaps too dark to see clearly. Is this some kind of lark? Is this some kind of joke, he said? Is this what this is? Or perhaps one or the other of you fell asleep briefly? Are you fair dinkum, sir? Are you serious, sir? That's what he said. It's impossible, I tell you. I'd give you the keys to the vault if you could fall asleep in that bitter cold. And if you didn't manage it, your eyelids would free shut and you'd never open them again. That's extreme. It was extreme, I tell you, and we had to put up with it because this man had locked the door. Any true gents would have unlocked it and let me in when I knocked. I'm dreadfully sorry about that, young fellow. That's a wrong accent. But you see, I was away with the fairies and didn't hear ye at all. That's a lie. I saw you through the glass. You were talking to someone. Now, 'twas a cold night, so it was. People do be seeing things that aren't real in the cold. 'Tis wholly surprising. See things? Seeing things? They're about to fucking brawl. I believe we have reached an impasse here on this particular point. You. Don't take it personal, lad. If I'm a suspect in this case, then 'tis only fair that you and the other fiend are too. Open and free competition is what capitalist society is all about. I hate this guy. This isn't a competition I should like to be involved in, really. In any case, neither of us know the first thing about... Let me press that. So, you had never met Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason before? Oh, Lumi, no. Not once, nor never. He'd never met the man before, he said. Never. And you, Mr. First, had no prior dealings with the victim either? That's right, sir. Hatters don't have much to do with brickmakers, to be perfectly honest, sir. No, I imagine not. You see, how many different ways can I put this? Neither of us has the remotest connection.
No.
To the gentleman who were signing. Yeah. Yeah, let's check. Oop. My kaboobs are going bad. Hold on. Drop frames. 60. Okay. We're back. Mr. McGilded? Yes, counsel. What can I be doing you for? Did the witness's last statement give you pause for thought somehow? Not the remotest connection? Is that right now? I wonder. What are you insinuating now? Ah, Mr. Fairplay. It has been too long, it has. Yeah? It disconnected? So... let's just refresh until it goes good again. If I'm not very much mistaken, I believe it is fast approaching, is it not? Your repayment date? I beg your pardon? You borrowed 20 guineas from me, sir? At an unconscionable rate of interest. You tricked me. It's extortion. Well now, is that a touch of begrudgery, is it? The sort of begrudgery that might motivate a fellow pass his crimes off to another. And young Mr. First. Me, sir? What do you want with me, sir? You do be making hats for a living, do you not? that there top hat sliding on about your head? Is that one of your own creations, is it? Oh, well, I'm just an apprentice, you understand. I'm learning to find the perfect fit for whether a fine gentleman walks through the door. The perfect fit, is it? What's his very distinctive design? So it is. Many customers like it, I tell you. They like a distinctive touch. Customers? Such as thrice-fired Mason? Ah. There was a photographic print of the victim submitted as evidence of fraud, my lord. This you mean? I can't help but think the poor fellow's hat looks distinctly familiar, wouldn't you say? Oh. That's one of my hats. Aye, that is. So it seemed the brickmaker was a customer of yours. The sort of customer I'd wager you could have had a wee quarrel with over the distinctness of the goods. Oh, no, sir. Absolutely not, sir. Well, there's really nothing more to add. It wouldn't be right to say that the two fellows here haven't the remotest connection to the victim, you see. I rest my case. You little weasel. He's better at this than I am. Gosh, Mr. McGoldrick has certainly been thorough in his research, hasn't he? Please don't let my little interruption hold up the proceedings. The skylight was shut the entire time, I tell you. We couldn't possibly have opened it. Let's press. Could you have opened it? Are you quite certain about that? That skylight was shut the entire time? I'm going to lose my block with you in a minute. He's going to lose his rag with you in a minute. That's what he said. Take a look for yourself. Go on. You see, it's shut fast now, just like it was on the night. So it is, of course, a fellow the size of Mr. Mason could likely break through it and steal and all. What? Just looking at the size of the thing, you understand. Now hold on a minute there, sir. The size of the thing means nothing. Not on its own. Let's consider the bigger picture here, shall we? Let's stop biting our cane, shall we? I was riding the omnibus on another occasion when, well, I broke wind loudly. I shocked myself with it, as it happens. This is an unexpected confession, Mr. First. I'm sorry, you're going to fart jail. Oh, I just meant to say, well, the point is, I tried to open the skylight, you see. But just my luck. I couldn't make it budge. The stench was terrible. Everyone was looking daggers at me, sir. I went red as rouge, I did. Are you expecting me to sentence you to fart jail? Oh, no, sir. The point is, the skylight can't be opened. I tried and tried when I was inside the cabin.
Excuse me.
Excuse me, ma'am. Do you have something to say about that, Miss Lestrade? Miss Lestrade? It opens. The skylight. That's what we're talking about, right? Oh my god. All of them skylights open. Dead easy. More easily than you can load that weapon? That's a lie, I tell you. Otherwise, when I broke wind, You can't do it from the inside, you mug. Oh. Look, a few weeks ago, I was up on the roof deck of one of them drags. And I had a great haul. I mean, I had persons coming out me ears. Miss Lestrade, this is not the forum to be eulogizing on the subject of your criminal activities. Well, anyway, I had a bit of a scare. When I lifted the last bloke's purse, he got wise to me. All four of them surrounding me, so I couldn't hop off the bus and leg it. So what I did, I used a skylight, opened the catch and jumped right through. What? Yeah, the catch for them skylights is on the top side, so I can't open them from the cabin. The skylight opens from the roof deck? Bailiff. Climb up onto the roof of the omnibus at once and verify the witness's claims. There do be a lock there, though. Ah. Oh, my hat. See? Order, order, order. So it appears this street girl's statement is quite true. I don't believe it. The skylight opens, and from the roof deck... Mr. Naruhodo. This could be the clue we've been looking for. Well, counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination. Yes, my lord. So, the skylight opens. Perhaps I should investigate for myself. Here's your proof. Let me just look at this. Do 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 do. So the skylight was fastened shut before, but now the catch has been undone, so we should be able to open it. Let's look at it. Can I look at it? You can certainly see inside the carriage through this opening, that's for sure. Yes, and there's a lamp in the enclosed cabin. So I'm sure the witness would have been able to see quite clearly. That's not good for us. Okay, let me look inside. Well, yeah, let's go inside. Is this right under the skylight? Anything up here? Oh, that looks like blood, buddy. Yes, it does open very wide, doesn't it? Wide enough to kick someone like you through, certainly, Mr. Naruhodo. Why someone like me? Ah. What is it? Look, just here. Look at this. That's without question. It's blood. Why would there be a blood stain there? Surely. It can't be unrelated to the case, can it? The details of the omnibus have been updated in the court record. Anything else? Anything at all? Nope. I wonder if these two men really were involved in some way. I couldn't say. I mean, I don't really know anything about them, do I? Although, by the same token, I don't really know anything about Mr. McGilded either. It's so hard to know what to believe in here. I think we should try to remember that it's evidence alone that can truly determine the outcome of a trial. Evidence. No one can argue against decisive evidence, including the members of the jury. So you're saying that what we need now is to find a conclusive piece of evidence? Yes, Mr. Naruhodo, precisely. Okay, we were the only two people up on the rooftop, dead or alive, I can swear to that. Boop. If anything had happened, we should... In any case, neither of us know about the first thing about the victim. We had no reason to kill the man. The skylight was shut the entire time, I tell you. We couldn't possibly have opened it. If you're so sure the victim fell through the skylight, where's your proof? Here's the proof. Oh, let me just present it.
Objection!
Yeah, that's my proof. On the night in question, the victim was fatally stabbed in the stomach. Let me just get back over here. And immediately afterwards, the victim's body was pushed through the skylight into the cabin below. Those are the facts, and those are irrefutable proof. Remains clearly visible in the omnibus that stands before us today in this very courtroom. What? That's utter humbug. You can't possibly have any evidence. No, you can't. I mean, we didn't do it, I tell you. It's impossible. Irrefutable proof here in this courtroom. Counsel? My lord? I believe everyone would appreciate a little clarification here. Where exactly within the omnibus is this evidence to which you allude? You will point out what it is that proves the victim fell from the roof deck through the skylight. Okay. Okay. You mind if I show you the board? Hello?
Got it!
Is that okay? By Jupiter, is that blood? This bloodstain proves two things. Firstly, when the incident occurred, the skylight of the omnibus was open. What? And secondly, the victim was already bleeding when he fell through the opening. Oh my. And so it follows. Then Mr. McGilded, who was inside the enclosed cabin himself at the time, cannot possibly be guilty of the crime. Everyone's yelling, everyone's screaming. Order, order, order.
Hold it!
But the blood could have sprayed there when the fellow was stabbed inside the cabin. I know they found its way to that one particular spot on the skylight. Surely, and that will be convenient. And let's keep in mind the skylight catch can only be fastened from the roof deck. I myself wouldn't have been able to open it now, would I? But there's no way to know for certain, is there? If the gent really fell through the skylight, I mean. Why don't you have a good look at the floor of the cabin between the two seats, Mr. First? It sounds like he's creating evidence. 'Tis all too plain, if you see. There's the aftermath that shows the poor fellow was dropped from a fair height right there, so it is. What? No. But it can't be. It's all lies. My fellow jury members, I think we can all agree that this is clear proof of the defendant's innocence, can't we? I believe you can, yes, sir. It is clear to me now where the filthy rubbish can be found in this courtroom. So, they thought they could pull the wool over my eyes, did they? I won't tolerate any of the guild's carriages be sullied with blood. I wouldn't tolerate it. Oh, I always knew that nice gentleman who gave us that delightful park couldn't have done such a thing. On three, then, everyone. 1, 2, 3.
Objection!
He's about to lose his fucking shit. Chilling performance, Mr. McGilded. Oh, and what would you be referring to now, Lord Van Zeeks? A bloodstain on the frame of the skylight. Such evidence is null and void. What? Why? For one extremely simple reason. That smear of blood never existed. Oh.
Objection!
What are you talking about? It's there for all to see. It's clearly blood.
Objection!
I personally attended Scotland Yard's investigation of the omnibus. The officers involved went over the carriage with a fine-tooth comb. So I can state with absolute surety, no such smear of blood existed in the carriage. At least not until this trial began. But are you suggesting, Lord Van Zeeks, that this stain of blood was fabricated, my lord? Yes, and while this court has been in session. What? Face first. What a palaver. I must say I didn't expect such a cruel reasoning from a prosecutor of your standing, Lord Van Zeeks. But I'm Magnus McGilded, a fella known all over the capital for his fine contributions to public life. I don't take kindly to slander, and I'll fight it to the bitter end, even if it's rolling off the tongue of the Reaper Bailey. Mr. McGilded, I realize that this is your first appearance in court as the accused. However, I am well aware of your involvement behind the scenes in a great many affairs of dubious nature. You're very adept when it comes to avoiding getting your own hands dirty. And each time it happens that a case you're involved in is investigated, you adapt the facts. Adapt the facts? What does that even mean? When you wield a fortune the size of Mr. McGilded's, however ill-gotten it may be, nothing is impossible. Tampering with evidence, manipulating the scene of a crime, bribing witnesses. I toast to your ability to concoct the most convenient of stories, sir. Tut-tut, Lord Van Zeeks. This will not do, to be sure. Will it now, counsel? Oh. No. I think it's fair to say this does all sound rather far-fetched. Sound like a rather far-fetched excuse by a desperate man. The blood on the skylight didn't exist, you say? But if yous will cast your mind back, is it not true that the omnibus has been in the courtroom the entire time? How could anyone possibly have put a smear of blood in without the world and his wife seeing? Isn't that right now, counsel? I mean, I can't lie. I mean, that's true, but also you did the thing. The omnibus has been in full view the entire time the court has been in session, except when the smoke bomb happened. I think he signaled for her to make the smoke bomb happen, and that's what happened. My learned friend. Here's to hearing your opinion on this matter, in your own words. As you wish. Could someone have tampered with the omnibus during the trial? If you're asking me, I think it could have been possible. Yo, is Dracula a lawyer now? Kind of. I mean, I want to be honest. I thought his animations were going to be the most horny, but there's this guy in, like, the jury who's, like, incredibly horny. Anyway, yeah, he's pretty much just a Dracula, except, like, weirdly, racist. He's kind of, like, yeah, racist Dracula. As a defense lawyer, it's my job to advocate for the defendant as best I can. But still, I feel as though there's something even more important at stake here. There is no evidence to suggest that the defendant did as my learned friend suggests. However, in terms of having the opportunity to carry out the alleged tampering, there is one possibility. Oh. Good gracious. Explain yourself, counsel. Rabble, 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 rabble. Yes, there is. It seems my friend has no intention of running from this deception. Deceit. I'm sure everyone still remembers clearly. The recess that we were forced to take. As a result of the smoke grenade fired by the witness currently in the stand, Miss Gina Lestrade. She set up a smoke bomb. We're not forgetting that. What a flashback. Be careful, Mr. Naruhodo. Don't fucking die. Don't let the people escape. Secure the thing. I am in an emergency right bailiff. Bailiff, do the thing. The courtroom was filled with smoke and everyone was thrown into confusion. All of us were made to leave this chamber. In that brief interval, under the veil of smoke and all that chaos, it could have been possible to steal inside the omnibus. Are you wise? You fucking idiot? What the fuck? Are you really trying to pull your rotten feckless gouger? I don't know what everything means. Feckless Cowger. You're supposed to be defending me. 'Tis a wicked plot. 'Tis a plot to undermine me, so it is.
Objection!
Whatever you think this is, it changes nothing. The facts are the same. After this courtroom was evacuated earlier as a result of the smoke grenade, a number of inconsistencies materialized in relation to the omnibus. Inconsistencies such as... To start with, the storage compartment underneath the rear passenger seat. When the police investigated the omnibus, this compartment was full of driver's items. Secondly, we have the smear of blood on the edge of the skylight. As I have said, that was not present at the start of the trial this morning. Unfortunately, Lord Van Zeeks, no one is able to corroborate your claims. That's true. When the omnibus was first wheeled out, both the storage compartment and the skylight were shut. Accordingly, I'm afraid to say, we cannot establish with any certainty if this evidence is a result of tampering or not. Indeed, my lord. No doubt there is not a single person who saw fit to verify such things. What do you think? Sorry? About the omnibus. Is there anything else unusual about the omnibus? Let me look at it. There is just a little... Let me see if there's a little odd thing. Is there anything weird about the omnibus? Anything in here that's a little weird? Let me just go in there. Let me see. Is the bus weird? Now let's go inside. There's a blood on the floor. Blood on the floor. Empty thing. Yeah, there's the blood just like right there. Was that there before? Yeah, I don't know. Can't find anything in place. Seat looks reasonably soft, but it's actually rather hard when you sit on it. It's just wide enough for two gentlemen to sit talk about. English gentlemen would be dressed in such finery. It would be quite impossible for her to climb up on the roof deck, so she would. Yeah. We get it. Can only would have closer. Very impractical, aren't they? Trans Ryunosuke headcanon? Canon? So there's blood there. Is there anything? I'm just gonna go with my gut. That it's the blood in it. It's the fucking blood, ain't it? Yep, it's the blood. That's what I feel. Oh, they got his ass mark. They got ass marks. I have an inkling. My lord. Yes, counsel? There is one further inconsistency. A mark that surely could not have been present at the start of the trial. What? What in the devil's name are you going to say now? If you dare betray me, you little maggot, I'll be sure you better start watching your fuck you. Silence, McGilded. The court awaits the defense's clarification. This trial keeps swinging one way and then the other. I have no idea what's the truth and what's deception. What am I supposed to believe here? I shall have to ask you to elaborate, counsel. It's just, where exactly is the alleged mark that you claim appeared at some point during the trials? It's stuff that he didn't talk about. He didn't say a damn word about it.
Got it!
If we consider the victim fell through the skylight onto the floor of the cabin, you would certainly expect to find signs of blood where he landed. But as far as I can recall, this blood stain on the cabin floor was not there when the omnibus was first brought into the courtroom. Good lord. Yes, I do believe you're correct, counsel. Well said. Although, as advocate for the defense, one might say that was a very careless slip of the tongue. No, I used my tongue the way I wanted to, buddy. I believe that bloodstain on the floor is a decisive piece of evidence. But if the question is whether the evidence is genuine or whether it was unlawfully fabricated by someone, I feel compelled to admit that there's at least a possibility that the evidence is fake. I'm not a bad lawyer. I'm a good lawyer. I'm a good boy. I'm a fucking good boy. I'll say it. I'm a good boy. I know, everyone's so surprised. I'm a good boy. Oh, he's fucked. This trial is over. Mr. McGilden? I've done everything possible I can to cooperate with the court, but 'tis all over now. But you're the defendant. 'Tis over, I tell ye. Memory, recollection, what people think they saw, 'tis all nonsense. Facts are what counts, and the fact is that bloodstain is there, now. Well, and over the course of this desperate trial, long and extremely drawn out as it has been, all that good-for-nothing Reaper the Baileys failed to present is any decisive evidence. He has done evidence. I don't know, my words are going weird. Let me take a sip of water. My words are going bad. Too many British accents. It's very hard. They did not clarify that he was Irish at the start, so he has the wrong accent. But I can't do an Irish accent, so this is preferable. I'm scandalized, so I am. I thought better of Lord Van Zeeks. Well, my lord? I must concur with the defendant. The unaffirmed recollections of an individual cannot stand as evidence. Oh, can you do an Irish accent, Yuzaru? Let me put it on. You can come in. Yeah. Let me put it. Oh, hell yeah. Now it's streaming. I'm gonna turn the stream quality a little bit down so it's not as draining on my... Yeah, you can try and do an accent. Oop, I did not mean to click past. Hello? Yuzaru?
Yeah, it's... I had to stop watching the stream on Twitch because the Twitch stream was getting bandwidth priority over this one.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
Right.
You'll be the Irish guy.
I'll try.
Do you want to be the judge too?
Sure. At this moment in time, the particular bloodstain in question is very much in existence. And in the absence of any credible method by which to prove its alleged previous non-existence, I regret to say that it would be improper for this trial to continue.
Your lordship can't be serious.
Van Zeeks, what is your position?
The prosecution, my lord, has no further witnesses or evidence to present.
Very well. In that case, as I believe we have explored every possible avenue in this matter, I shall proceed to my adjudication. As a formality, I am of course obliged to confirm with the defense first.
What formality? As things stand at the moment, it would seem that Mr. McGilded will be found not guilty. Yes. Which would mean we've won. Is that really the right outcome here? Is it really alright for the trial to come to an end now with all these unexplained inconsistencies?
Counsel for the defense, your closing statement, please.
I don't wanna. I don't wanna close the defense.
Can you explain what's going on here?
Okay.
Gilded is this guy's client, right?
Yeah. He.
Why?
So,
Okay, go ahead.
from what I've gathered, the start of this trial, we were basically... I'll pull this up. Let me look at the people. This guy is the Lord Chief Justice, and to kind of prove our place, because our friend Kazuma died, we want to take over and continue his lawyer mission. So to prove ourselves, we were assigned to defend Mr. McGilded by this guy, the Chief Justice, Lord Chief Justice, and we were assigned to help him to prove the worthiness. But this guy came out of like retirement, basically to get him. I think it's really like a class thing. He's like, this fucking guy, the rich preying on the poor or whatever. Loan shark, he hates him, is what I'm gathering. So he came out of like retirement or something to prosecute him. And we just are kind of in the middle of this like very... It seems like he's guilty. It seems like our defendant is guilty. But we defended him because no one else wanted to go up against Van Zieks. So we have like we are really not the most aware of all the context of all of this. We are just the only person there who is willing to defend him, and we have to prove that we should be a lawyer basically through this trial. So it's like a mess. It's kind of a mess. Does that make sense?
Now, I assume because of blood, this is like the autopsy report, this is a murder trial?
Yes, it is. This guy, oh, that's not. He was, here, it shows right here. The victim, a skilled but poor brickmaker who apparently owed the defendant a considerable sum of money.
Okay.
So, yeah. Is there any other questions you have I can fill in?
I think is important.
I think what is important is, I think all of these people seem to have some sort of connection to Magnus, or Magnus knew that they had a connection to the Mason. So I feel like it makes it look like he really set stuff up, but this guy owed our defendant money as well. And this guy apparently made the hat for the dead guy.
Okay.
So, you know.
The minute fix you up with upper high cat.
Yeah. So, yes, my lord. The defense believes. I'm gonna be honest. I think. Sorry, I'm being a bad defense lawyer, but I think he could be guilty. I'm sorry. I'm here in this courtroom today to advocate for the defense of my client, Mr. McGilden. However, at this moment in time, I cannot in all good consciousness attest fully to the defendant's innocence.
You're a bad lawyer.
Yeah, I'm a bad lawyer.
You're a good man, but you're a bad lawyer.
Yeah, they're like, you're doing bad. He's like, he's so rich, and I just don't like it. Sorry. Can we eat the rich already? Oh, this is you?
Oh, right, I forgot. What are you saying, man?
Without any question, there is no conclusive evidence to prove that the defendant is guilty. However, there's also no conclusive evidence to prove that he's innocent.
Good gracious me. I couldn't figure out point on the fucking word. Order! Order!
The voice, the accent?
The inflection.
Oh, that's
That
exact.
was the word.
That is what I am dealing with so much in this. I'm like reading stuff and it really does not come out because they talk so slow.
Yeah, it's like they'll say one word and you have to.
You have to
press
imagine,
A,
is it
you
a
have to press
question?
A to get to the next part of it.
Yeah.
This is unprecedented behavior, counsel. A defense lawyer calling the accused innocent into question? Are you of sound mind?
It seems I snatched your wig, Judge. That's so stupid.
Oh, 'twas a grand decision to appoint you as my lawyer, so it was. A grand decision.
Hold on. Let me adjust some volume stuff. Okay. Let me go back. Oop. What?
Must say, I didn't quite expect quite such an exciting spectacle at the end there, but still.
I wonder if they're related. I wonder if she's his daughter, because she also has a coin thing that she's been doing.
Oh,
Here.
threw a coin at
Have
me.
this for your troubles.
Ah! Ouchie!
Your job here is done, fella. And some fine work you've done, sir, you have.
What do you mean?
Just as the right honorable gentleman so succinctly put it afore. Child can't go on anymore. And your closing statement there was, how did he put it now? Nothing more than a formality. What?
Dude, he's off the shits. Oh, he's so sweaty. I really don't know what to make of all this. Was the evidence we've seen genuine, or was it all fake? His lordship would be fuming. Any unsightly rubbish should be disposed of promptly, as I said.
Lady, are you paying attention? That didn't seem germane.
No, she's... Oh, it's this horny guy. The stinking rich are always guilty of something, you... mark my words. I respect this guy. I feel terribly ashamed that I ever doubted that lovely man who gave us the lovely park.
Proceedings have unfolded in this way. I am compelled to declare a premature end to this trial. Furthermore, the court must accept the defendant's plea. I thank you kindly, my lord. I hereby pronounce the verdict of this court.
Objection.
But we still haven't determined if the bloodstain in the omnibus is genuine or not. We don't know if these witnesses are telling the truth or a pack of lies. We have no idea about the truth.
Lord Van Zeeks,
My lord.
the case made by the prosecution was flawed, plain and simple. If indeed the omnibus presented as evidence was tampered with, the prosecution is at fault for allowing such a disgraceful perversion of justice to take place. I think that's the court's fault, actually.
Yeah, it's kind of the court for allowing a child with a smoke bomb to come in. Just like, this girl has a gun. Can we just allow this girl in here with a gun? I guess we can. My sincerest apologies, my lords.
Objection.
But, wait. When we were evacuated from the courtroom, Lord Van Zeeks ordered the evidence to be secured.
I'm afraid the prosecution cannot shun responsibility in this matter.
That's so unfair.
The culpability of the defendant has not, at the present time, been established by this court. Consequently, the jury will not be required to proffer judgment.
What?
Well, Lord Van Zeeks, it's been a pleasure, so it has. How am I doing, by the way?
You're doing a great job.
Thanks. And as for you, my dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defense.
Did you mean to tell me this has all been a grand waste of time?
'Tis the law of the land, my good man. If you'd like to pursue this matter further, you can always go ahead and try to change the law.
This guy is like so fucking angry. Magnus McGilded.
Good grief, you've more to say to me, have you?
Just one thing. A warning. This is far from over.
Well, something to be looking forward to then. I hereby pronounce the defendant, Mr. Magnus McGilded.
Woo! We did it! I mean, we kind of did, but nobody's happy about it. There's fireworks and shit, but nobody's happy. I'm like, what the fuck did I just do? Aid and abet a criminal? A criminal?
Well, that's being a lawyer for you.
I can't believe it. This is an outrage. You should have examined the evidence more. What you talk about? The man's been cleared. He's innocent. Woo. Everybody's upset. Everybody's sad. With the courtroom in pandemonium for the second time that day, the judge delivered his verdict. And my first ever trial in Great Britain came to an abrupt end, with the defendant being found not guilty. Ostensibly a victory for us. I mean, I can be a lawyer now, that's cool. But I didn't do a bad. Okay. 18th February, 5:14 p.m., the Old Bailey Defendant Antechamber. That certainly was a long trial. Yeah, it was. Your first ever trial on foreign soil, and your first victory. It was a wonderful performance. My heartfelt congratulations. And to you, Miss Usato, thank you for your assistance. I suppose we should be happy. The trouble is, we're still completely in the dark about what actually happened. Well, we didn't have enough time. But isn't it wrong? I mean, who is actually responsible for Mr. Mason's death? We don't even know that. The sole aim of the defense is to obtain a verdict that exonerates the defendant. You carried out your duty to perfection. I think that's you.
That you did.
Mr. McGill did. Ah, and that girl is with him too.
Is she the one who threw the smoke bomb?
Yes. She's a smoke bomb girl.
Well, it seems the stories are true.
Oh? What stories?
About the 6 enormous fireworks they do be letting off when there's a verdict of not guilty.
So it's canon.
I'm sure you must have seen them now. Spectacular, wouldn't you say?
Yes, definitely. Not a fire hazard.
I'd heard it was a sight to behold, and to be sure it was. We're the only ones who are aware of that, by the way. I'm just breaking the fourth wall.
Oh, really? It's
And
just
I've
not a
yet to
thing that
take,
they're doing?
I suppose. For having an opportunity to see it.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'm not sure I really did anything.
Oh, right. What on earth are you saying, fella? How did I walk out of there a free man, then?
I don't think it was so much thanks to me as down to your planning.
You're a straight-talking fella, aren't you? I must say, you had me astray in the head there once or twice. But you're young and headstrong. It is water under the bridge.
Love how Susato just looks like she's so fucking done. Congratulations, Mr. McGilded, on having your name cleared. But nothing's resolved.
There's only one thing that matters to me.
Oh.
They've all seen that I didn't do that odious and abstinent deed. 'Tis grand, is it not?
I suppose it is.
Now the fine fellows of Scotland Yards can take matters in hand and sort out any weed. They'll see it for what it is. They'll get to the truth.
I love how he's just JoJo posing. Absolute villain behavior.
I've absolute faith in them, so I have. After all, I do be providing a good number of their wages with all the taxes I pay.
It's not that funny.
So then, as we agreed aforehand, 1,000 guineas for your troubles, fella.
Oh, no, I couldn't possibly accept that much.
Ara, be whist. You're humble people, are you? You from the east? Well, if you insist.
Ow.
But have this, still and all. You deserve a reward.
Mr. Magnus McGilded. Everything is ready, sir, if you'd like to follow me in the courtroom. Into the courtroom?
What's this, officer? Just sooner than I was led to believe.
Oh, that's me. I forgot. I hope it's not inconvenient, sir. There are some changes to the schedule.
Well, I must be making tracks now. Just time for the inspection.
Sorry? What inspection?
They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself.
They're going to examine it again? Now?
Naturally, I'm under no obligation to take part in any more of this matter now. But as an upstanding member of London society, do be doing me best to help where I can. It is a gentleman's duty, so it is.
Oh, I love doing the surprised voices. I've been avoiding doing them because it's not as fun to do it just for myself.
So then, fare thee well. 'Twas an absolute pleasure meeting yours. I hope you have a whale of a time while you're studying here in Great Britain.
Okay. And there he goes, a free man. Free Willy. Oh, I forgot she was there too. Do you want to voice her? Or you want me to voice her?
Sure, I'll try.
Okay.
She also Irish?
I feel like she's more like, imagine a street urchin, British, like that.
Okay, well then you do it.
Oh,
You do her.
don't
That's-
move! Whereas I wanted to say, get a move on, she really does take forever to load that thing. Miss Lestrade, would you mind putting that thing down? You're a grown-up. Sorry? And I ain't all grown-ups. There you are? Who's that? Oh, baby! Baby! Baby.
Steampunk baby!
Steampunk baby! We got baby. Look at her. She's so fucking baby. Do you want to be baby?
Sorry, Hold on, have you checked out Rat Boy Genius yet?
I have not. Well, I think I did.
I just
Why do I feel like I've done it before, but I just can't remember anything?
I was just thinking it just popped into my head. The little summer steampunk baby.
Oh, look at this little baby.
'Cause you know the character Summer Solstice baby from Rat Boy Genius?
I definitely have not seen Rap Boy Genius then. I only
Okay.
know about it from you.
Okay. Yeah, you should definitely check it out.
I have to.
But yeah, now I don't know. Let's just go through a bit more of her dialogue, see if I get an idea for her voice.
Okay. You can read it in like well, I'll read in a funny voice until you get an idea of what you want to do, okay?
Okay.
Naughty, naughty, running off like that. Is this some kind of picnic? Who's this little girl now? Whose baby is this? And taking that with you as well. I was looking forward to the trial run of my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Ha! Holy shit. Gunfight.
She is a fucking steampunk baby!
I know she is.
Oh, do you want to play? You won't beat me.
Excuse me, but who are you? Also, she's like 17 and this looks like an 8-year-old. So it really is like nearly through hands with a 10-year-old or something like that meme. They're like about to fucking brawl.
Oh, good day to you. I'm, well, the inventor, I suppose, of that machine.
The inventor?
Well, normal smoke grenades are so dull, don't you agree? White, white, and more white. I actually don't have a good voice for this. I thought I would at first, but no.
you want me to do like a Pepper Pig? What is a Pepper Pig? It's Peppa. Pepper Pig? Like pepper? The condiment? If you would be shrouded in smoke, it could at least be a pretty color, I thought to myself. Do we have to be shrouded in smoke, though? At all? I just took my eyes off it for a moment whilst changing into a different omnibus, and she pinched it. Luckily, I fitted with the telegraphic beacon. Tell her what's it what? I have no idea what this baby is talking about. Anyway, you're coming with me now, back to my laboratory, whatever. Do you wanna,
Either one.
You wanna voice her?
Nah, I'm good.
Okay, you'll just be a spectator.
I will find a character I can voice.
Yeah. What for? To apologize, of course, silly. To my technician. What? You mean say sorry? You must say sorry when you've done something wrong. Surely an adult has told you that before. An adult? Huh. I don't listen to no adults. Come along then. Follow me. I'm holding you at gunpoint. Fine. Have it your way. Oh, good. You see, I knew you'd want to do the right thing in the end. I'm fairly sure that what she wants is not to get shot by that massive gun of yours.
That's a powerful thing to say when you hold someone at gunpoint.
Yeah. this little 8-year-old holding this fucking people at gunpoint. I love her. This is baby. Well, I'll be leaving now then. Bye-bye. I'm so sorry for all the fuss. She was a lively one. Well, do you think perhaps we ought to be on our way now too? Yes, you're right, but where to? Oh, we haven't had time to find a place to stay. No sooner than we arrived in London than we had to rush here. All our traveling cases are still with the bailiff. I was originally planning to spend today in search of lodgings. But at this late hour in the day, I'm afraid we may be out of luck. Don't worry though, I have a plan. If the worst comes to worst, I've heard that of lovely park where we could let's do a camping trip, boy. Let's fucking do it. Please tell me you're not thinking of McGilded Park. I know it may be a little chilly at this time of year, but our youthfulness will see us through. Live fast, die young. I'm not so sure about that. I think a midwinter London night will freeze a young person solid just as easily as an elderly one. Oh dear, that doesn't sound agreeable. Now I'm starting to regret turning Mr. McGilded down. That 1,000 guineas would have paid for a lovely warm room. Or mansion. And so, the trial to determine my worthiness for the study tour was over by the end of our first day in London. However, as we were soon to learn, there were more trying times ahead, just as the Reaper of the Bailey had warned. The case was far from over. Cutscene!
What's going on? Get the fire brigade! Water! Bring
Oh,
water.
fuck.
How did this happen? I don't know, sir. By the time I got here, it was already engulfed. No one was supposed to be allowed in here before we started investigating.
Someone. Oh no! Oh fuck. Hold on.
No. Oh, good God. There's someone in there.
Who? What? What the fuck?
This can't be.
This fucking Castlevania looking motherfucker. Just popped out of here straight from Castlevania.
You must be the Belmont.
No, I'm the Van Zeeks. It's don't think about it too much. The appearance thing, the fact that I drink wine religiously through my special ceremonial chalice. That's just what I'm just European.
It's definitely wine.
It's definitely wine, not blood. Okay, are you down to continue?
Sure.
Hell yeah. Okay, episode 4. Oh, we're gonna get some fucking Herlock Sholmes. The Adventure, the Clouded
I
Kookaroo.
got some. You know about why they call him
I
Herlock
begin to
Sholmes?
think,
Yeah,
Wilson,
because they didn't
said
have
Sherlock,
access to Sherlock
turning
Holmes.
his head languidly in
But you
my
know that this is
direction,
actually based off of the.
that there is more to this case
Hold on,
than
I
that
want to watch
which
this.
we have
Yeah.
observed. Indeed, that there may be another part to this story that we are yet to discover. His eyes wandered, following the steam rising from his cup of herbal tea, leading him to the distant memory of that snowy evening. To the young lady collapsed on the pavement along Briar Road, and to the knife in her back. Lit in the soft glow of gas lamps, a most extraordinary scene had been set. And under the cover of a light fog, the curtain had risen silently on the insoluble mystery of our invisible killer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Herlock Sholmes was created by a French author, like at the same time, like concurrently with Sherlock Holmes. And basically, he was like, "Hey, I want to do a crossover with Sherlock Holmes and my thief character,
Oh, is
Lupin.
that... Yeah, Lupin.
And so, can we do that?" And Arthur Conan Doyle was like, "Absolutely fucking not,
And
die."
he didn't
Okay,
like
well,
Sholmes?
Sherlock Sholmes then. Fuck you.
That's so funny. That's why I've been seeing fan art with Lupin and fucking Herlock Sholmes
Yeah.
from the game. That
Yeah,
explains
Lupin-
it.
Lupin the Third being,
Mhm.
you know, like
the
an
anime.
anime, like that guy's grandson.
Yeah. Lupin the Third being the pervert, and that's literally his
Yeah.
character trait. Just gotta say it. No, that's so fucking funny. I did not know that. That's so good.
Yeah.
19th February, 9:47 a.m. British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office. Did you sleep last night, Mr. Naruhodo? No, not at all. It was an enormous hotel, wasn't it? The rooms were so luxurious. I felt like we were staying in a palace. And with all the gas lights twinkling, it was brighter than day even in the middle of the night. What about the enormous beds? After my time on the SS Beria, I wasn't going to waste a single inch of that space. I spent the entire night rolling from one side of the mattress to the other. Ryunosuke. Oh yes, it really was the sort of night you can only dream of, normally. Except, when I learned that we owed £3 for the rooms, that dream quickly turned into a nightmare. Oops, sorry about that. The building was so impressive and the entrance was so inviting I just wandered in without thinking. In a lodging house in Japan, that sum of money would put a roof over your head for a whole year. I did try, but I'm afraid I couldn't help my tears when we were presented with the bill. I really am sorry. Well, never mind. We must find some more affordable lodging straight away, though. If we're not careful, our entire stipend will be used up in 10 days or less. London is a scary place. And I think this is... I'm pretty sure... Oh, he's not there. It's the big buff guy I showed you, the Lord Chief Justice or whatever.
Alright.
You want to try him?
King of Justice.
King of Justice. Just think justice. Big boy justice. Good morning to you at this early hour. I think it's him.
Oh.
Oh, it's him. Oh, yes, we, well...
Rotate.
Yeah. It reminds me of, like, in Fire Emblem Three Houses, whenever you're doing, like, the supports between people, and they're, like, they don't move to turn, they just rotate their figures. Like, 3D models just rotate when they turn to people. It's great. Good morning to you, Lord Chief Justice. We have come to report on the outcome of the trial at the Old Bailey yesterday. Suzato-san is amazing. She doesn't even bat an eyelid, even the president of the imposing Lord Strongheart.
Yes, I believe you had a very comprehensive comprehensive initiation into British court practice.
Oh, yes. It was very eye-opening, thank you. And in accordance with your instructions, Lord Strongheart, Mr. Mr. Naruhodo performed his duty to the end.
Yes, I've already been appraised of events. Rotate! Conducted remarkable defense. You may consider the test passed.
Who's shouting that whenever you turn, Lord Strongheart? Oh.
That is my little brother. No longer are you a student from the Empire of Japan. You may henceforth claim to be a fully fledged lawyer.
Does he also set off the pigeons that fly behind you?
No, I don't know who's doing that.
We don't know.
We're looking into that.
Oh no, we don't know.
Sorry. My country is delighted to welcome young talent from such a remote eastern land.
Now, like the lore of a pigeon infestation in the fucking, like in his building, in his like giant clock tower. He's like, someone keeps releasing the pigeons. Please, please stop. I don't need it. I don't need it to accentuate my justice, my dramatic pose. Please stop. There's hundreds of thousands of pigeons in my tower. Please help.
By the way, hey Warden.
Yeah, hi
I
Warden.
can't hear you.
I forgot I was on push to talk. I made a great joke. I it was super funny, and then I realized you
Couldn't hear it. That's so tragic.
Yeah, you'll never hear it though.
That's okay.
I took that.
Let me adjust some volume stuff. I need to turn.
Oh.
So just up a little bit. Okie dokie. Thank you very much. So I'm a lawyer now.
Now, in view of your new appointment, I have a fresh case in mind for you. I'd like you to take it on at once. I trust that won't be a problem.
I like to pinch deeply.
What?
You're cutting out a little bit.
I said I like to pinch repeatedly.
You are definitely still cutting out. Like you're very muffled.
Hello? Pin?
You're slightly less muffled.
I love men.
Oh, that is not muffled at all. You did it. You defeated.
All right, I forgot this earphone have microphone.
Okay. Let me adjust this.
And now, hey everyone, how does this sound?
It's a little loud, but I've just adjusted your volume, so it should be good.
Well, the issue is that I'm holding the mic. You adjusted while I was holding the microphone pretty close to my voice, and so now I'm gonna have to hold it like this. I'm gonna have to whisper.
Also,
Yeah.
you're blowing into the microphone.
Yeah, you're blowing. You're breathing in full breaths.
I know that was kind of perfect.
Oh, you were being a funny boy.
Love
Just the softest I love men. Okay, another case already?
Nothing trains a lawyer better than practical experience.
I feel like the bar exam.
Yeah, I feel like there's actual other things.
I'm sure I don't sense satisfaction, do I?
It's just that yesterday's trial ended unusually. Let me actually adjust.
How did the trial end last time?
Well, our guy was probably guilty, but everyone, like, it was inconclusive, so they just went not guilty, basically.
Yeah, like, a piece of evidence was probably tampered with, but we couldn't prove that it was tampered with.
So it just became a whole thing.
So, yeah.
Did
And
Kazuma come back?
also, I don't think we know this yet, but there was a cutscene that showed it. The evidence caught on fire.
Yeah, with someone inside.
Yeah. The evidence being like an omnibus,
Yeah.
which I had to look up.
It's just like a two-tiered carriage.
Yeah.
And so I think someone died. If we get put on that like immediately after, that's gonna be fucking wild. We're like,
Did
we're
Kazuma
back.
come back though?
No, Kazuma's still dead.
I don't believe you.
I would tell you if Kazuma came back. I'd be like, oh my god, he's back. Oh my god, oh my Kazuma. Just like that. That exact voice.
Kazuma.
Ooh, yeah.
But to come to terms with, the man was clear. What more were you hoping for?
flashback.
The culpability of the defendant has not, at the present time, been established by this court. Consequently, the jury will not be required to proffer judgment. You want to do the judge now?
Sure.
I was
Me?
actually addressing Warden.
Oh.
Get the fuck out of here, sequel.
Fuck, I leave my stream. Oop.
All right, it's finally time for the Warden Yazaro hour. I've been deep trying to push.
You've been pushing it. Yeah.
Well, Lord Van Zeeks, it's been a pleasure, so it has. And as for you, my dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defense.
He looks like he put children through chimneys.
Through chimneys?
what? Oh, yeah.
He looks like he puts children through chimneys. I just can't help wondering if Mr. McGilded really was innocent. Mr. Naruhodo, it's just that I never managed to ascertain the truth. And then the trial ended.
Well, you needn't let it trouble you for a second longer.
I could do the judge.
Okay. Sorry?
Strongheart's his name?
No, he's not the judge. He's just, justice guy. What do you mean,
Ah,
Lord
okay.
Strongheart?
Chief Justice!
What? The character jumped out. Oh, fuck.
All right, Yazaro, if this guy isn't the judge, then Yazaro.
Magnus McGilded passed away immediately following the trial. No, I love doing his voice so much!
I think he was
It's actually completely unrelated. Just pure cocaine.
he was not
Did
lit
you know
on fire.
some liberals think that that just snorting cocaine up your nose will kill you. I don't.
They really do.
Next, they'll tell us to stop having asbestos smells.
Yeah, and I need my asbestos. No. What? Mr. McGilded is dead? But someone keeps releasing the pigeons.
It's a swan. It's the swan girl.
Oh my god, she's back.
I have 19 minutes and 41 seconds until my next engagement. I can't remember what voice I was doing.
Oh, I have 19 minutes and 41 seconds until my next time.
Warden, you do this guy. I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm sad that McGilded is dead because I really liked doing that voice.
I'll find you another silly little man to voice.
Okay.
Don't worry. We'll get you
We'll
another
find
silly
you a
little
silly
man.
little man. Don't worry, Yazaro. We promise.
We promise we'll find you a
Silly
little
little
Irishman.
silly little man.
Yeah. Present from the polycule.
How the
Silly
fuck?
little man.
How the fuck did he die? I don't understand. What happened? How can he be dead?
Well, after the trial concluded yesterday, there was a great commotion in the old alias, all that Nintendo's. And as a proverb, nobody bush has wheeled into the courtroom. It's a fucking bus with it goes everywhere. An omnibus.
Yes, of course. That was the scene of the crime which Mr. McGilded had been accused of.
It's also where the magic happens.
A guy burnt burnt to death.
Yeah, precisely. Well, while the bailiff's attention was diverted by some other manner, the omnibus went up in flames because of the it got too spicy.
No. How could such a thing have happened?
Lack of industrial regulation and man, everything being made of. But I mean that's being investigated as we speak. But already, we think the horse did it. The police identified a corpse inside the John shell of the carriage as McGilded.
That's awful.
The man must have slipped inside while the bailiff's attention was elsewhere. I don't know why he did it.
That bailiff needs to pay more attention. And how could that have happened?
That is also being investigated as we speak.
Thinking back now, immediately after the trial, Mr. McGilded did mention going back into the courtroom to look at the omnibus.
You think they mention English common law here? I
Uh,
doubt it.
Maybe. I don't know. This has been like a very like politically
Right, but I don't think the Phoenix Wright games are that invested in actual law to be like, yes, based on English common law, which was founded on the Magna Carta, etc., etc.
yeah, I don't know. But it's been like they've been
talking about the politics of Britain. A lot of don't trust rich people behavior in this
Right,
game.
but not like full law, you know.
Yeah, I see.
Must be making tracks now.
You still get to voice him.
This time for the inspection.
Sorry? What inspection?
They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself.
Is it supposed to be like an Irish voice, like hey?
Yeah, you should not have heard
What
my
is
accent. I was trying. It was, it was not Irish. Yuzara, did you
It'll
hear
be
it?
on me, boss. No, I was.
I heard it, but I don't remember it.
It was
I
something.
was busy playing D&D, you know,
Oh, I
like
heard.
a gamer.
Like a gamer, kind of. Spicy.
Yeah, how's it feel? How's it feel that I'm playing D&D now?
I love how you're laughing, but it sounds like you're crying with relief.
That was the effect I wanted. Yes.
Okay.
Not to my knowledge, I don't think I had any intent to recap. More like they were busy examining my character. Am I right?
But then who was Mr. McGilded talking about?
Never mind that now. The order's making a thorough investigation. This will definitely not come up later. This matter is no longer any concern of yours until it will be in 10 minutes. Leave it to me.
Coincidentally, you have to defend the man accused of that crime.
You have to, coincidentally, you have to defend the horse.
Poor Mr. McGilded, killed by a horse. Such a sad way to go.
I blame the Irish.
Oh no, but he is Irish.
Wait, is Strongheart also Irish?
No, Mr. McGilded.
I know, but I feel like that's the classic English.
Yeah.
So, how did you find your first taste of our country's Supreme Court? I think it has a bit of licorice all over the walls.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it was wow, sir. Mr. Naruhodo means the whole experience was steeped in the solemnity of Great Britain's long history. It's really a world apart from our own judicial system in Japan, which is only a few short decades old. Wow, Suzato-san has such a way with words.
Brown nose.
And you seem to have a way of failing to find the right ones.
She can read minds.
It's like that Simpsons meme where it's like, I know you can read my thoughts, boy, to Bart.
Yeah.
I love that one.
Oh, did you hear that question? No, you can't. It's not really that.
The most advanced in the world, is it?
I doubt it. I would argue more that Byzantine law is actually It's actually also the much more impact on both Middle Eastern and European.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was fortunate.
I mean, the Code of Hammurabi is like really influential on the laws of everywhere.
Yeah, sequel try. Yeah.
What? I said the Code of
Don't come up.
Hammurabi.
I know.
Code of Hammurabi. I'm
You
literally
see, Zaro, they're trying to join in.
I'm trying to join. I'm trying to.
Lost lad.
The Code of Hammurabi, and it's like really important because Babylonian. The Babylonian Empire. I'm literally learning about this in art history. Don't be mean to me.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to gatekeep girl boss you.
Oh my god, he gatekept girl bossed me, Yuzaro. Can you believe it?
Anyway, that was a very simple affair.
Simple? That was simple?
As I believe I mentioned yesterday morning, it was a trial you couldn't lose.
I don't mean to be contrary, Lord Strongheart, but the case was anything but simple. The circumstances of the case were so incriminating, I was stunned when I first heard them. In fact, I'm still finding it hard to believe that we managed to get a favorable verdict. Like, how the fuck? What? Is something funny?
Oh no, my apologies. I just let gas escape. However, the fact is that you did receive the not guilty verdict you set to achieve, and so it was all easy. That's right, I'm gaslighting you now.
Oh no.
And that couldn't only be exerted to accept talent. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, I don't know about that.
Boy, you. Right? Are you gonna show me about these animes I keep hearing about? Your
Oh
boy?
my god.
We can
I'm-
watch Detective Conan.
Well, never. You exceeded my expectations. I freely admit that much is at least an undeniable truth. Which is precisely why I prepared a new case for you that I mentioned before.
What's going on?
You have to defend the horse.
What was he
Um,
going to say before? That would be so Phoenix, right?
Hey, I think I'm gonna head off because my ears are starting to hurt.
Okie dokie.
All right, goodbye, Izaro.
Love you,
We
Izaro.
love you.
Love you. Good night.
Bye.
Oh, oh.
All right, I sucked him right off into the ether.
Oh my god.
He's gone now.
Okay, new case. Could
Oh,
you
how long are you going for, by the way? 'Cause
I want to go to learn like the details and then meet the defendant basically. Probably before we
Okay.
even start. Could
it's
you
just that it's good. Yeah, 40 minutes till midnight, so I was worried.
could you perhaps give us some details about the new case you mentioned? Don't tell me it's a murder and the trial starts in 10 minutes.
Don't worry, it shouldn't take so long. That's your last assignment. It's simply an arson, and it's coming in 15.
Yeah, it's
But the
simply an
fact is,
awesome
it's
murder.
It's completely different.
Oh, I see. Did he just read my mind? Am I just speaking out loud?
So yes, they can read your mind. That is to say, no one has died as yet.
I love the little
The
giggle.
trial will not be. The trial will not be any type of reason case thoroughly. 23 hours, 43 minutes, and 19 seconds precise. 18 seconds.
Huh.
17.
So the
13,
trial's tomorrow
15,
then.
14, 15, 12,
Is everything all
10.
right?
9.
Oh, yes, I'm just a little confused, that's all. Yesterday's
Ah.
trial was... Well, it's left me wondering if I'm really cut out for being a lawyer. Oh, Mr. Naruhodo. I don't know if I could face standing in the courtroom again after Mr. McGilded's trial.
Oh, yes, don't worry, I was counting. I nearly forgot. There is one similarity with yesterday's case. Once again, there is currently no one to advocate for the defense.
Oh,
In a situation where major change, a trial starts out with the defendant unrepresented. And if that happens, well, I need not remind you that I'll kill him myself.
oh my god, the most terrible end awaits the defendant.
Oh, he's gonna eat the British food. That's right. Those
He's gonna
cheeky
he's gonna eat that slippery eel.
That's right.
Ugh.
I'm gonna force feed him gruel
Here we
from
go
my
again.
own mouth,
Oh, like a mama bird.
like a mama bird. It
That's-
makes it even harder to swallow. Your time is up. You have to excuse me. I would advise you to begin making for the trial. After all, the clock is ever ticking. There's now 23 hours, 26 minutes, and 39 seconds until the court sits.
Last time
Every
you
time
mentioned the
clock
23 hours.
strikes midnight, I finish.
Oh, okay. Last time he mentioned 23 hours, he said there was plenty of time.
And one more thing, Mr. Naruhodo. There is something I'd like to ask.
Oh, what's that?
Do you like men? I mean, yesterday you remarked upon something. That you intend to see through the wheel of fate.
This is the same question that you asked.
And I believe that wheel was kissing men. Mhm.
It's the same
Color.
question.
Triangles. Do you like men?
Yeah.
I would be interested to hear exactly what you mean by that.
Well, I like men.
Inside 34 seconds.
I already did it. Oh, well, Cosmo always used to say, you see, that he wanted to learn how the greatest justice system in the world works so he could change ours in Japan. Now that he's gone, I'd like to work towards that myself. And there's another thing. Oh,
Another thing. Continue.
on the way here, on the steamship, he said something to me.
I love men. I mean, there's something very important I have to do.
Yeah.
Something very important. And what exactly would that be? His boyfriend?
He never had a chance to tell me. I suppose he would have done
if he'd ever made it to Great Britain. Oh,
You're out of time. Well, thank you for an enlightened.
Mr. Naruhodo, what's all this about? Mr. Sogi never once mentioned anything of the sort to me.
Because he hates women.
Damn it.
Oh, yeah, Jimmy. To focus your attention on the matter of fact. I'm going to go with this voice now because it's a little lighter on the road.
Ooh.
I've taken the liberty of summoning the police inspector to charge of the case.
Guy's shaped like the
We'll
letter.
be able to apprise you of the details.
How long has he
What were
been
you
there?
going to do? Wait, what joke were you going to try and make?
I was gonna try shaped like the letter P, but he's not.
How? At all? Huh?
No, don't be
Huh?
mean to me. Don't be mean to me. I'm just trying to do my jokes. I'm just trying to do my jokes, buddy.
Where?
My
Where
jokes.
do you have a cursor you can pull out now and sort of line out where the fucking P is?
Like this.
Uh-huh. Okay, that's an I. Congrats.
He's shaped like I
See?
meant to say he's shaped like a Q-tip. Okay, is that okay? Is that better? Is that better, huh?
Not really. His body is the same length of his head. It's wider actually than his head, so doesn't really work.
Just continue reading.
So I wish you the best. Farewell.
There he goes. Da-da-da-da-da-da. There's something very important that I have to do. Kazuma-sama, what did you mean?
Eh.
I wish I knew, but honestly, he never told me.
Eh.
Anyway, like, what's that? What's that in the distance? Anyway, we'd better talk to the detective, don't you think? Yes, you're right. Okay, who are we defending? I hope I'm just imagining it, but I wouldn't say he looks pleased to see us at all. Is that French fries? Oh, that's fish and chips. Hello, sir? Am I gonna simp for you because you're a detective and you're eating food? What? I didn't mean to do that. Fuck you. That wasn't the question. That wasn't what I clicked on. I wasn't doing that. I don't want to look at book. I want to look at the boy. Yeah, I know. There's fucking Finding Nemo in there too. Shush. You got it. Wait, yeah, you did it. Come on, why is this? It took forever. Hello? Boy? Hello?
No, I know what you're going to think. No, I do not look like a Q-tip.
Could we trouble you, sir?
No. I'm trying. Hold on. Let me try and do a Scottish accent.
Okay.
Oh boy. Donkey. No, that's. Oh boy. What if you could change your face?
Do it.
What do you think?
Lovely weather, isn't it?
What's the weather got to do with anything?
Uh,
You're daft. Listen to me, you young Japanese upstart. This is a nothing point. Some frippery about the weather doesn't get every English dandy out of your hand, don't you know?
but Susanoo-san...
You gotta dress up like the queen and tell us about the gruel. That gets
But
us all riled up.
you gotta feed us the gruel from your mouth. But Susanoo-san told me it was foolproof. Oh my god.
I'm a busy man.
How are you
A
doing
donkey. I'm a donkey. What if you could take... There's a crime scene to investigate, but here I am, having to get the likes to talking to you. Huh? What?
that? Likes
No.
of you a talking to. Do you see what he's doing? He's conjuring more fish and chips.
Infinite chocolate.
Oh my god. Oh, I'm ever so sorry.
What if you could imagine that's what the other officers would be saying? What if you could change your Gregson anywhere? You know, he's too busy with the big wigs these days.
What if you could change your Gregson?
What if you could change your Pumpkin, who's on here from a country I've never even heard of? I'm just gonna stick with this horrible voice. I'm sorry. You hear that rip it sound? That's the reputation out of the yard. Good tatters.
There's no need to rip us apart as well. I don't believe we've been introduced. This is Mr. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, a defense lawyer.
Eh?
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, Sue.
Oui?
It's lovely weather we're having today, isn't it?
Donkey. Things are decently fine, I grant you. I'll just go. You know what?
Very
Fuck this.
Southern.
London winters don't see a lot of sunshine.
Unbelievable. How did she pull that off?
Like, so I am. Lord Strongheart has asked me to fill you in on the case. The name's Tobias Greg, Inspector Greg to you. I'm from Scotland Yard.
Gregson? Inspector Gregson?
The
What's-
fuck did I just say?
What's the matter with Suzato-san? Does this detective's name mean something to her? Hi, Inspector. Hello, I am no Holdo Ryunosuke. Inspector, are you perhaps
Yay, yes.
the Inspector Gregson?
Oh,
we
yes,
already know.
also.
No, we already know you're gay.
No.
You're acting like you know this man, Miss Suzato, but he's a London detective. Oh, I do know him. Very well, in fact. Very well? Yes, he features prominently in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Oh, in that publication. What's it called again? Rance Magazine? That's right, Inspector
More
Gregson.
like rancid.
Inspector Gregson and Mr. Sholmes enjoy a wonderful friendly rivalry. Really? You rival the great Mr. Sholmes? That's impressive. Wait, we respect him?
Oh, well, I don't know about that. Mr. Sholmes isn't a professional himself, of course, but he does come up with the goods from time to time, like crack cocaine that I snort.
Mr. Sholmes is equally complimentary about you, Inspector, isn't he? You've earned his high praise. Gregson is the pick of a bad lot of all the Scotland Yarders. Those were his own words.
That's not a good thing.
That's his highest praise. Well, Mr. Sholmes isn't particularly known for giving compliments, you see.
That he is not. And thanks to that magazine, my name's known all over London town. I can't go anywhere without someone's trying to tickle my pickle.
That's great, isn't it?
I have to admit, to start with, I was a little flattered by all the attention. But now everyone's trying to tickle, shake my hand. My reputation went through the roof.
Well, that's wonderful.
No, it's not. I'm going to kill this rat with a single strike. There's nothing more sinister than the man on the street. People are always looking at me now. They're whispering rumors under the breath, talking about how I would like to kiss Sherlock Holmes. And that's not true. I promise you. I don't like to kiss them.
Rumors? Gay rumors? Are you quite sure?
He's changed since he started appearing in those stories. The fame's gone to his head. He likes to kiss Sherlock in the mouth. Stuff like that.
Gosh, do you really think people are saying such mean-spirited things about you?
Like I said, they whisper, so I can't catch exactly what they're saying. But I know what folk are like. I'm sure what they're saying. Sure as eggs is eggs.
Eggs. I get the feeling this detective could be very hard work. Oh dear, perhaps a sudden rise to fame does change people.
I wonder if you could get all if you rip off the game's animations, you could get just a fun thing with Sato. And that thing with the Zelda CDI of the overacting
Oh yeah,
animation.
yeah.
You just get just all the characters like Sato and others just to music or something.
I love that. I wish I could show you an animation from the trial you missed of this guy very hornily licking his knife.
That's fine. I can think about it in my dream.
Yeah, I mean, it served no purpose. He was just a juror, but they went. He was just a
had
juror.
a knife.
He just had a knife. He wasn't involved in the crime at all, but they wanted that in there so badly. So I'm about the case that the Lord Chief Justice mentioned before.
Nothing to tell, really. Horse did.
Horse shit.
Horse did it.
Oh.
As far as we're concerned at the art, it couldn't be simpler. Horse had a gun, he shot someone.
Oh dear. That probably means
Horse.
that as far as we're concerned as lawyers, it couldn't be more complicated.
I wish you were wrong about that, but I have a nasty feeling you're right.
A young woman was walking on the pavement on Briar Road when she was stabbed from behind by a horse.
By a horse.
Fortunately, it wasn't fatal, but she's still laid up in the hospital unconscious.
That's despicable. What sort of coward horse would attack the poor woman from behind? I suppose you would have finished whoever it was off with the Susato takedown, wouldn't you? Horse or not? That's neither here nor there, Mr. Naruhodo. Brace yourself, Ryunosuke. You've angered her now.
Anyway, after some sort of whirlwind investigation, the criminal was arrested. Oh, sorry, guys. He barely had time for a cup of tea after the incident took place, to be honest.
So there must have been something left at the scene that led you directly to the culprit?
No, I just didn't like it.
Oh, or perhaps a reliable witness who recognized the person in question?
No, I just hate the Irish.
Oh,
Let me stop you right there. You're wasting your time on this.
sorry?
There's nothing you can do. There's no way to help the bloke now.
Why ever not?
Simple. Prosecutor has been assigned to the trial tomorrow is Lord Barrick von Z.
No.
Sounds like you've heard of him then.
That Castlevania motherfucker? Oh yes, we are very familiar with Lord Van Zeeks. Believed to be the harbinger of death itself. The Reaper of the Bailey.
I had Bailey's once, made me throw up.
Can we... Oh, let's talk about the Reaper of the Bailey, not Bailey's. Lord Baron Von Zeeks, who we faced in court only yesterday. Mr. McGilda told us about him before the trial, didn't he? When Van Zeeks stands for prosecution, they call the accused his sacrificial lambs. And in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. This Reaper of the Bailey's nickname. I suppose he's earned that because every defendant he advocates against is found guilty, is that it?
No, it's because he kills.
Well, if that's the case, we should inform you, Inspector, that in yesterday's trial against Lord Van Zeeks, Mr. Naruhodo secured a victory. A verdict of not guilty. Which is a victory.
Ah, and what of it?
Oh, well, I think that means that even against the Reaper of the Bailey, it's not impossible to save the defendant.
No, you really don't have a clue, don't you? Do you?
What do you mean?
Your defendant is Stabby McStabberson.
He just shoved his fish and chips into his pocket.
What happened to that bloke in the end, huh? He's dead.
Oh. Oh, yeah. Kind of died.
Magnus came a cropper in that omnibus when it went up the flame. And I'm not saying it was... So you can't sadly say you saved the defendant, can you?
What?
You bet.
What are you saying?
I'm saying you should have also been a firefighter.
Oh.
Look, if Anthix could get dirt stuck on everyone, he'd be a miracle worker. But that's not how it goes. He doesn't work miracles. He works magic. Black magic. He's a fucking witch.
He's a fucking... Look at him.
I'd have a good long thing about that if I were you.
Are we really supposed to believe that? He's having a yummy time. That makes me want fried food so bad.
I had a pizza today. And to be honest, I kind of want to look around my house to see what other food I have, but I did not go shopping today.
Damn.
Right. Well, I feel that's a question. I'm barely limited out of chips. That's a complete lie. I've been only eating the fish this
You've been
entire
only
time.
eating the fish.
So I need more chips. So I'll be headed out to the crime scene now, and we're still carrying out the investigation there. Like, where the fuck are my chips?
They're still there. They're in your pocket. They just fell out. It was Briar Road, you said, didn't you? Where the incident took place.
That's correct, ma'am. If you head over to the holding cells, you can meet the criminal himself, Stabby McStabberson, who loves stabbing women.
You branded him a criminal already?
He's as good as shaking his little leaf BSL as he is. He'll give you a truck full of nothing else. He's inmate 53. Speak to the jailer and he'll show you the way. If you go to inmate 54, that's That's Ratfucker McSteve. You could. That's too late. That's too far. You gotta go
Too
back.
far. I don't want to see Rat Fucker McSteve. Inmate 53. Thank you.
Yeah, he's arrested for tax evasion, the worst crime.
Oh, yeah. Really is bad.
Yeah.
So there's no helping anyone against the Reaper of the Bailey, they say. Is something troubling you, Mr. Naruhodo? To tell the truth, when I recall the trial yesterday, I can't stop myself from shaking. The idea of facing the Reaper in court again is... Well, if you think it's too much for you, there's no shame in turning the case down. That takes courage, too.
Nah, I don't fucking care. But if the man they have arrested is innocent,
You could well imagine he would be shaking like a leaf in his cell. And I, for one, wouldn't find the sight of that funny. It wouldn't be funny, haha. So, if I'm honest, I'm still reeling from the shock of yesterday's events myself. And I'm really not sure if I'll be able to help this man, whoever he is. But I'd like to try. So I think I'm going to make some inquiries. Will you help me?
Here.
Did you really think you needed to ask? After all, I am your judicial assistant. Thank you. So then, shall we? Yes. Let's go.
and then after we meet the defendant in jail,
We can go pee
we can go
for
die.
24 hours.
24-hour pissing.
The
Hello?
only way.
19th February, local prison, cell 9. So these are British prison cells.
Oh, they're ghastly. It feels just like a dungeon.
Yes, and having experienced it in Japan myself, I can assure you that our wooden cells feel a lot cozier than these cold stone walls.
Oh, don't, Mr. Naruhodo. You're making it seem worse.
Oh, I'm
Oh
sorry.
my god, she's gonna fucking cry.
She's gonna cry and then punch you.
Yeah.
Apparently our
Hey.
client is in this cell here, unless we got to Ratfucker. But it's so dark at the back, I can't make him out. I wonder what he's like.
Invisible. It made 53, the legal representative is in the trio. No pointing at the back of the town show your face in one.
Am I?
Am I a cat? Yes.
Calling me by
Sorry,
a number.
but-
It's utterly
Oh wait, hold on,
unbelievable.
stop. Hey, what? It's
Utterly
me.
unjust.
Shut up.
Are you sure this is
Shut up.
you? Because if this is Herlock Sholmes, it's me. Let's see.
Why
Oh,
would he? Why would he be called? Oh my god, could it be Herlock Sholmes?
could it be Herlock Sholmes?
It's. I don't think it's. Well, it has to be the inmate because he's saying calling me by a number.
Number under.
Well, yeah, no, that's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking. This is
But do you
the
think
inmate
it's Sher-
speaking.
I know, but do you think the inmate is Sherlock? Is Herlock Sholmes?
Could it be?
Did you read a spoiler?
No, I don't know actually. So you can read this.
All right. In the meantime, I'll read it because I'm going for Les Miserables.
Okay, go for it.
Calling me by a number. It is utterly unbelievable, unjustly unreasonable. I refuse to answer.
Mr. Naruhodo,
And I'm
What?
Javert.
what do you think is going on here?
I have no idea, but I wasn't just hearing things, was I? That
Oh my
tur-
god, it's
that
that. Oh my.
Wait, what?
Oh.
That tirade of complaints was in Japanese.
Is it the inspector?
Who is
Oh,
this?
I don't know who this fuck is.
He's got such sad eyes. Excuse me, but who? What the fuck? Dude's just fucking it up.
They're all around. Hiding. I know they are. They're watching. Listening. Even now I can sense it. Brr.
Are you high on cocaine? Right. So could I? Oh,
There you are. You've come to curse me, haven't you? Don't try and hide it. You're a ghost.
a ghost? Me?
Ghost?
We mean you no
Oh,
harm,
I love
prisoner
Susanna.
son.
I love hold on. I love Susano's face right now.
She's just like, this guy is tweaking.
We mean you no
What the
harm,
fuck?
prisoner son. Are you Japanese by any chance?
Are you keeping it Japanese?
Oh my god, I love his sad eyes turn to glad eyes. Look at this guy.
Hold on. Hold on. There's a. Okay, there. This is. This is. Beyond my wildest dream. I'm crying cum by the gallon.
Oh my god. Get this man an IV. He's losing too much cum.
Forgive me for the outburst before. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's fine. We were just a little surprised, that's all.
Imagine it. It's been 12 long months since I left my hometown, and here I am, in a frightful fix in a foreign land. I keep trying to go back to British when I'm not trying to. So hearing the sweet phenomenal tones of a compatriots' voice here in the deep, dark hellhole was most monumentally moving moment. I came.
I'm so sad that Yuzaro isn't here, because this is a silly little man, if I ever saw one. Who could have guessed that this new client Lord Strongheart assigned to us would have turned out to be a fellow Japanese?
What compassion, my fellow countrymen. To dispatch a first-class lawyer all the way from Japan to defend a mere foreign student. Noble, nurturing, never failing Nippon.
A first-class lawyer? Oh dear, I think there's been something of a misunderstanding here. I wonder, would you be so kind as to tell us what happened? Why you've been detained as a suspect, for example?
Yes, I can, I will. Chat, stay sullen and silent. I think that character probably works best in Japanese.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure what he means, but he seems happy.
He seems to keep close about.
Yes, he does. I just hope he actually has a good reason to be. Thank you for your cooperation. I am a lawyer, as you said. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. And I am Naruhodo-san's judicial assistant, Suzato Mikatoba.
I am a visiting student sent here by our government. No, Debtor, the name Natsume. Just
I love this guy. I dig this guy. Since it's late, we're gonna stop here.
Yeah.
But I do love this guy. I do. Hey, Warden, I love this guy. Do you mind if I love this guy?
That's fine. I'm glad it wasn't Herlock.
You were glad. You were like, oh, we gotta fucking see Herlock again. I thought it could be Herlock, just because the only spoiler thing I've seen is I'm not gonna tell you, so you can be surprised.
Well, now I can sort of guess, but I think I assumed it wasn't Herlock. I feel like it would be weird for none of them to be like, oh, also it was Herlock.
Oh yeah, when they're talking, yeah, I don't have any like spoilers case wise for like anything, except for like.
But you can't tell me that Herlock is.
Yeah, I won't tell you what I know about Herlock, but once we see it, you'll know what I'm referring to, and you'll go, okay. That he pisses, yeah.
No, kiss.
Oh, kiss man. Let me see the people. He's 33. He's certainly aged in a way that he looks so sad.
He looks like a JoJo character.
He does, and he poses like a JoJo character. I love this guy.
Exactly.
Look at our new fucking friend. Well, anyway, thank you for joining me here. I'm gonna end the stream here.
Bye.
I
Love
give you
you.
good night. Goodbye.